What's up, freak bitches? We're only an hour late. my friends in film fandom, I do very much apologize for the absolute train wreck of technical difficulties I've had over the course of the last hour. But we are here. We are here to go over some of the important stuff in the entertainment world. Some big stories going on. Certainly some things that a lot of people are looking at, especially the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. I will finally be dipping my toe into that pool of nonsense and absolute tabloid garbage tonight. But here to help me go through all this stuff are my very good friends in film fandom. First one being the Dowager Countess Lady Cora. How are you doing tonight, ma'am?
Happy to be here.
And I am the only I'm happy to say I will be the best looking person on camera tonight because Jeremy is actually on the road. He is our on the road correspondent at one of the comic book conventions that him and Rachel are going to. But my hetero life mate Jeremy is here with us. What's going on, brother?
Well, yeah, you said it. I apologize for any background noise or anything that may be distracting, but yeah, we're on the way. We're about half hour away from our hotel, so yeah, it's gonna be a little weird because I'll probably be like checking in and moving crap around, but I will, to the best of my ability, keep my focus at least somewhat divided on this. So.
I can honestly say that whatever you do will not be nearly as bad as the technical difficulties we've already dealt with over the course of
Well,
the show today.
see, I was gonna say that because if anyone, and I mean when I say anyone, I mean absolutely nobody because we didn't even do a stream and no one would have watched anyway. But it's fine. We didn't get our stream up on Tuesday because within a week everything decided to take an absolute dump. I don't know if it was from Sony or if it was whatever we were trying to stream through. But something updated and something now, literally the thing that projects the gameplay itself, which is probably the most important part, just did not do that. So I don't know. Well, yeah, and like Rachel said, she's like, she got all dressed up and looked hot for nothing. I'm like, well, I would look like an absolute train wreck then compared to that. We didn't progress the story or anything. We just dicked around in the area we were in, got some secrets, and just kind of got a feel for the game a little more. But yeah, we'll keep that going. Hopefully next week if it actually works.
Hell yeah. Well, let's get right into the news. Just for a little bit of a programming note before we get into all of our main topics, we will not be doing the giveaway tonight for the sake of time, but we will be doing that next week. So I'm not skipping out on you guys who have been so kind to support us in the Patreon. We will be giving $25 in free movie tickets away next week instead of this week, again, for the sake of time, because we don't have Cora for all that long. So I do want to get right to the stories. And Lady Cora, what's the first thing we're talking about tonight?
Tonight, we are talking first about some sad news. Comedian Gilbert Gottfried has died after a long illness, his family announced on Tuesday. He was 67. Glenn Schwartz, the comedian's longtime friend and publicist, revealed in a statement that Godfrey died from recurrent ventricular tachycardia due to myotonic dystrophy type 2, a type of muscular dystrophy characterized by prolonged muscle tensing, weakening, pain, and abnormal heartbeat. Gottfried is known for his comedic films, including Look Who's Talking 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Problem Child. Gottfried was also the voice of the parrot Lago in the 1992 adaptation of Disney's Aladdin. Oh, I forgot about that. He was Iago.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was.
He would go on to reprise his voice role in sequels. And Frank, I have to say, I remember him more for his stand-up myself over the years. But what are some of your memories of Gilbert Gottfried?
God, he's just so funny. I've been very aggravated lately that comedy has been kind of neutered by all these people who don't want to joke about some topics that can be hard to find humor in the moment. But that's the essence of comedy. Like, comedy is tragedy plus time, is how the old saying goes. And sometimes, Gilbert Gottfried made one of the quotes that I heard after he had passed a couple of days ago. He had said that this is how the human condition deals with things, is by laughing at it. You are faced with this terrible thing that brings you sadness and pain. He's like, so honestly, the best thing you can do is just look it right in the eye and laugh at it. That's how you beat it. And that's absolutely true.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well
I mean,
said.
I think back. I mean, look, that scene in Beverly Hills Cop 2 where they go with the parking tickets. I think is some of those fun. Is in a series itself that has been absolutely hilarious. That is one of the funniest scenes in an entire franchise. Where he's sitting there in the office and Eddie Murphy's trying to talk to him about these parking tickets and his wife's Beamer and shit like that. And apparently he was talking to her on the phone when they walked in and he hung up. He just picked up the phone again, yelled bitch at her, and then hung up the phone again like she was going to hear it. There is so much about him that is so funny. But the one thing that really sticks out to me is in 2017 there was a documentary that dropped on, I think, Amazon Prime, maybe Netflix. I think it was Prime, about Gilbert Gottfried, his life. His marriage to his wife, his relationship with his sister who passed away from cancer and how it affected him. And you get to see a more intimate, more honest look at this guy. And I was like, damn, not only was he an absolutely hilarious comedian, he was a really stand-up individual, stand-up person. And you know, everything that he did for cancer charities after his sister died, and you know, how family-oriented he really was, how he felt it was up to him to make the first 9/11 joke after 9/11. He is the first known comedian to make a 9/11 joke. And he caught a lot of shit for it, but he was just like, somebody has to do it. We have to try to find something positive in this whole mess to try to move past it. And the joke wasn't really a bad one. It wasn't really that significant of a joke. He just made a joke, but there was so many people that were so frustrated with him, and it cost him a lot. He ended up losing the Affleck advertising gig because, you know, he was doing the voice of the duck in the Affleck commercials. He ended up losing that gig, but he was just like, you know, we have to make these jokes. We have to laugh at the terrible things, or else the terrible things are going to run us over. But I mean, there was so many great things about him. Again, if you get a chance to go watch this documentary, I think it was just called Gilbert. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see.
I think it is called that, yeah.
Also, yeah, I think it's just called Gilbert. They came out in 2017, and he also had his own podcast that just about 10 days ago aired its last episode. He had a podcast.
Did you know that his last Instagram post was a show of support for Chris Rock with the whole slap thing?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But I mean, this guy was just so damn funny and so damn talented. And he was from a generation that wasn't run over by PC bullshit. He's just a free, honest thinker and an honest observationist as to how the world works. I'm going to miss this guy a lot. I mean, crazy funny. I mean, 67's not old. It's not young. I mean, it's not old. I feel like there was probably some good comedy left in him, and I really want to try. I had never had a chance to go back and check out his podcast. It's called Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Even in his podcasting, he was kind of goofy and funny. But yeah, I've heard he's had some pretty big guests on there. I mean, not he was actually on Joe Rogan's podcast. I want to say maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and it was really fun. It was really interesting to hear him talk, just kind of hear the way he thinks. But yeah, definitely a huge loss to the entertainment world. Jeremy, what do you think?
Well, as he said, you know, the one thing is, I'll remember for breakfast. I won't take the fucking French toast. That little bit's so funny. It's like it's tells a little funny story about the kids and the table, and then the parents asking, "What do you want for breakfast?" And he's like, "I want the fucking French toast." And the kid gets the shit beat out of him. And the kid's friends there, and they ask him like, "So what do you want for breakfast?" And the kid's like, "Well, I don't know, but all I know is I don't want that fucking French toast." Jesus, I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, I think maybe more personally for me is like, I remember obviously him being Iago from Aladdin. He's got such a distinct voice too. Like, I think I accidentally opened something up. I saw something. I was like, oh, well, that was him. You know, just by the first little syllable, whatever word came out of his mouth, I'm like, oh, that's definitely him.
Yep.
And like, there's these guys I watch on YouTube called Microwave Society. I love their sense of humor. I love their editing style. They're fucking hilarious. I would love to be like that. They do a thing where they watch like safety videos, and some of them are just kind of like, you see those ones
mock them or pick them apart kind of thing.
Kind of like, some of them are just ridiculous. Like, there's one like about fire safety, which was like very blatantly from like the 90s, and it's like all those like stage ones of like, you know, using box cutters, and it's like, it looks like it's from the 80s even. It's just, some of it's just kind of hysterical. But Gilbert Gottfried actually voiced like this little like smoke alarm in this kid's house. And I'm like, that is slightly horrifying looking, because it almost looks like him if his face was on a smoke detector. But it's just his voice. And I'm like, okay, sure. I don't know. And they had to stop. They were like, wait, is that Gilbert Gottfried? He's like, no. He's like, I don't think they got Gilbert Gottfried to be cool about fire safety. He looks up. He's like, it is Gilbert Gottfried. Yes. I'm like, right. How do you not get excited? It's just funny. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I was listening to some of his stand up while I was at work the past few days. Just
Oh, nice.
enjoying it. Yeah, fun time.
Yeah, Cora. Cora. What are some of the things that stand out about Gilbert Gottfried to you?
What stands out about him is he was just as edgy as a lot of the other comedians of his time, but he seemed to get more of a pass. Do you agree? Like if you compare him to Richard Pryor and some of these others, he got more of a pass, was more socially accepted. So I think I don't know how to explain it. I'm not sure why, but I know a lot of people thought he was very funny, and I don't think his stuff was that far off from other comedians who got a lot of shit. So I think he had a pretty successful career based on luck or just who knows, but I think it was great. I think he had a great comedic presence in our culture and probably inspired a lot of young comedians to be comedians based on his performance that they grew up with. So yeah. I hope he's not soon forgotten.
A terribly funny individual who's going to live on for a couple of reasons, not just his stand-up, which in the annals of the raunchier comedians is going to live on, but also in a lot of kids, like Jeremy was saying, he's Iago in Aladdin, and so a lot of kids are going to recognize that voice, be like, oh yeah, that guy. And then, of course, the people who love the commercials, like Affleck. How many people did walk around for years like Affleck? But,
right.
And yes, your mom BJ in the chat actually, Jeremy, says that she heard today that was his stage voice. He did accentuate it a lot for the stage, for his stand-up and stuff like that. But it really wasn't that far off. Like I said, if you get a chance, go watch that documentary, Gilbert, about his life and his relationship with his wife and his career and stuff like that. The voice isn't that far off. He definitely does push it a little bit when he's on stage. But he is that old Jewish guy from the neighborhood, from one of the New York neighborhoods. he is exactly that. But a tremendous loss. One of the great comedians. One of the pictures that's been making the rounds the last couple of days since he passed away is one of the pictures that came out when Bob Saget died. It was a selfie that Bob Saget was taking of him, Louis Anderson, and Gilbert Gottfried. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, we've lost all three of those guys in just the span of the last couple of years. Because Louis Anderson died 2-3 years ago from some health problems he had, and then of course Bob Saget not too long ago after his fall, however that all worked out, and now of course Gilbert Gottfried, and I'm like, good God, these three absolutely brilliant comedians, all taken from us.
We lost Robin Williams to that brain stuff, and it's been a generation of comedians, and that seems to be a great loss. And now comedians are probably too scared to be edgy anymore. So, I just feel for the whole industry. So maybe we'll have to go back to watching the older stuff.
It's actually funny that was that was like a related video I watched today. It was actually funny enough. Dave Chappelle, it's just a super cut of him. The title was him destroying cancel culture for like 8 minutes straight. And I'm like, yeah, he's basically telling you like, dude, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to be entertaining to all you. All you fuckers want to do is worry about what the fuck I'm saying. I'm like, right. If you want to talk about a story, in line with something like that, that's just, he's like, I'm sorry, your ears are so damn brittle. You can't handle this shit anymore. I'm like, right. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Gilbert would want people to celebrate comedy.
Laugh a little bit.
And he would want people to have a good time remembering him and not be sad about it too much. So well,
that's what his family said in their Instagram post. They actually posted on Instagram for him, and even they said, what was the exact quote? They said, "Please keep laughing as loud as possible in Gilbert's honor."
Aww,
and if I was a comedian, I would look. I've always thought that if I was any kind of a famous person, or even famous enough to, for anybody to care when I died, I wouldn't want a moment of silence. I would want noise. I would kind of want exactly that. I would just want
pour a drink for me kind of thing, have one.
For just one moment, for just one moment, every comedy club just spend a minute laughing. Instead of a moment of silence, spend a minute laughing. That's all. That's what I would want if I were him. But
in the words of one of my favorite people, other comedians, Chris Hardwick, he's like, let's make it a fun roll. Let's have a fun time.
Yeah, an Irish wake is what it's called. It's when, instead of getting together and being all sad, they get together and drink and party, and there's music, and we all have fun. That's how I want to go. But yeah, definitely rest in peace to a great one. I mean, go back and check out some of his stuff, especially the Problem Child movies. Those movies are so damn funny. They're so good. And he's so good in them as Principal Peabody. Oh my God,
Nice.
that's some good stuff. But rest in peace to an absolute comedic legend in Gilbert Gottfried. And Cora, what's the next story we're going to be talking about tonight?
Well, we're going to fast forward to fall here a little bit. Spirit Halloween has teamed up with Strikeback Studios for the appropriately named family kid adventure Spirit Halloween, a movie named after, set at the store itself in the, I don't know this word, titular. I've never even seen that word.
Titular.
Titular, okay. And it's got some majorly nostalgic star power. Entertainment Weekly has confirmed that Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future and Rachel Lee Cook from She's All That, which she has an adorable little nose, that actress, will lead the cast. Spirit Halloween marks David Poag's directorial feature debut with a script written by Billy Bates. The film has already finished filming. It's slated for an October 22 release. Jeremy, what do you think of the upcoming Spirit Halloween film? I'm guessing you're going to dress up for it, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I knew that question. I knew that one was going to be directed at me. As soon as that story popped up, I'm like, these fuckers are going to make me answer that question, aren't you? All right. First of all, let me go through my quick minds. Let me show you what my mind was going through. I was scrolling and I'm like, what the fuck? What? You're making a Play-Doh movie. Calm down. This is a joke. Nope. Next. I kept scrolling. I was like, this is a joke, right? Like, this is not real. I don't know. I didn't really, because like I always say, if I follow so many news, media, entertainment, whatever outlets, if I see something, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, sure. But if I start seeing it again and again and again and again on other pages, I'm like, okay, this is probably true. I only saw this come up once, so I kind of thought, yeah, sure. I'll tell you why they got that done so quickly. It's because
it wasn't a very long movie, or
no, it's a joke. Like, yeah, it's because they probably can only use the store for a few months before it has to get out of there and make way for some other store in the mall. That's Frank knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Of course, but to be fair, you know what I'm talking about. We could have made a better movie with could have made a Foy's movie because that's open all year round. Damn it, could have made a better movie out of that.
Nobody outside of the where we live knows about Foy's though.
I know. Watch this video one day, it's gonna blow up, and that place is gonna have hella business. You're welcome. Yeah, but I don't know. Sure, if it's just it's a fun, I don't know, Halloween movie, that's great. But I feel like you should be doing some jokes here. Like if you got Christopher Lloyd, he's gonna go in the back of the store and find like a scientist jumpsuit and turn around. Great Scott! I don't know. He's gonna do something.
I wonder if he'll play himself as just an everyday person, or is he gonna play?
I don't know.
His character like somehow he's brought in through some teleporting thing. I don't know. It'll be
sounds like
interesting.
fun.
Well, I actually,
campy thing, right?
He pulls up in a,
I actually have
he
the
pulls
plot
up in a
here.
DeLorean.
I have the plot if you guys
I was
want
like,
to
if
hear
there's
it.
if there's a plot, please tell me.
Like we said, this film's already been finished filming, so there's already a plot. It said, according to the official log line, the movie centers on 3 middle school friends who think they have outgrown trick-or-treating, but when a new Spirit Halloween store appears in a deserted strip mall, they make a dare to spend the night there, locked inside the store on the night of Halloween. They soon find out that the store is haunted by an angry evil spirit who has possessed the creepy animatronic characters, and the kids embark on a thrilling and spooky adventure in order to survive the night and avoid becoming possessed themselves. This says to me, 100%
The Night at the
like
Museum
Nickelodeon,
meets
Are You Afraid of the Dark kind of bullshit.
Ghostbusters.
Like I was gonna say, this sounds like
Night at the
Goosebumps
Museum.
mixed with like Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, Night at the Museum. Like, hello. If Christopher Lloyd doesn't like the spooky ghost, I'm out. I don't care.
Yeah, this has definitely got some Nickelodeon fucking bullshit vibe. And you know what's funny to me is I don't think this movie's even really about the Spirit store. I think it's just product placement. And they were like, you know what? We're going to make some goofy Halloween kids movie. We may as well just like say it happens at a Spirit store. And then they're like, hey, why don't we name the movie Spirit Halloween? And it's just brilliant product placement. I think that's all this is.
Okay.
Yeah, like Brooding Gamer says,
But
yeah, Goosebumps. That's exactly what this is. It's Goosebumps,
Right.
and it takes place inside a Spirit Halloween store.
Didn't I just call it there? You're like, oh yeah, they come and go. They're like legend. That store just pops up in a fucking strip mall somewhere, and all of a sudden you better get in there because it's gonna be gone in a month. You know what I mean? They come and go.
Yeah, but I can't
I
deny.
don't know.
But it's got Christopher Lloyd. It's got Rachel Lee Cook, who I love, by the way. I loved her in Antitrust.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite movies to watch. And it's got some other people in it, too. It's got Marla Gibbs, who was in El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie. It's got Donovan Colan from Zoe. It's got two people from the show called Raven's Home. It's got Dylan Frankel and Marissa Reyes. And it's got Jaden Smith from Blue Bloods. Not that Jaden Smith, a different Jaden Smith. So I've watched Blue Bloods. I haven't watched any of the other stuff, but I've watched Blue Bloods, and I like that show, Blue Bloods. My dad watches that a lot.
It's a great show. Tom Selleck, man, you can't beat it.
Show. Yes, Tom Selleck is a boss.
So.
But yeah, and I don't really know much. I mean, this is the director's debut. I don't really know much about Billy Bates as a writer. I mean, I didn't have a chance to really look up any of his writing credits today. But I mean, whatever. It's gonna be a goofy, kidsy Halloween movie. But if you think about it, it's already got one thing going against it. What else is coming out this Halloween?
New Halloween movie.
No,
Other than that.
I don't know.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
then people are gonna this is probably gonna be let's wait till it comes
This
out
is
on
our year.
Amazon rentals and watch this. You know, if they're smart, they'll go straight direct to video with this shit.
I
But
don't know. I mean, look, it could be some good counter programming. I mean, it is October. It is the season where you want to see scary, spooky stuff in whatever genre. So maybe this is some interesting counter programming. I mean, because you've already got Halloween Ends coming out. So if you want so if you want the Halloween flavor in your movie, but you still want something that's a little G-rated for the kids, you're gonna have this, and you're gonna have Hocus Pocus 2 in theaters. So maybe it is a clever piece of counter programming.
could be.
You know what would be absolutely hilarious? Just do a crossover cameo. Just have the three Sanderson sisters walk into the store and be like, wait. And then just in tandem, they all three just walk out like together. I'm like, okay, wait, this is not right.
They have
Yeah.
to do their witch walk, though. That's
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, like in sync, they just walk in and then walk back out. Like, wait. Or they get lost in the store and she's got to do her normal, like, sisters. And then it's like, poke their heads up over the fucking aisles and they're like, oh, what's up?
Yeah, Birdie Gamer says any animatronics that appear in this will be big time popular and bring them more money than they already need. Like I said, it's product placement. It's like it's like a giant commercial for them. So why wouldn't they let them put their name on it?
True. Agreed.
But, that's just me. BJ, I'm not sure why. Nobody else is having trouble hearing me, I hope. Oh, no, I'll just put the microphone closer. Maybe they'll solve it all. But, yeah, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think of the Spirit Halloween Store film that will be coming out in October 22nd of next year. So, yeah, it just says October 2022. It doesn't have an exact date. But, I mean, yeah, tis the season for all the
cult
Halloween
classics
stuff. The
to
cult
be.
classic. Look, if I'm going to see anything, it's going to be Halloween Ends, and it's going to be Hocus Pocus 2. Those are my two my two big October movies next year. And maybe I'll see Spirit. But like I said, it's got Rachel Lee Cook, and she's one of my celebrity crushes since Antitrust. So.
She's so adorable. I mean, there's just something really sweet and adorable about her.
She's absolutely gorgeous. But before we get too far into the next topics, I do want to remind you guys again that we're not doing the giveaway for the $25 in free movie tickets today. We're moving that to next week. But I do want to remind you guys that we do have the Patreon, and that's how you get entered for the $25 in free movie tickets. Go join our Patreon for just $5 a month, and you get entered for the $25 to give away once a month. And you've actually got a little bit of extra time to get in for this month since we're moving it back to next week. Again, this is not to try to promote you guys to go back and spend a bunch of money on the movies themselves. It's really to go out there and support the movie theater employees that were devastated so badly during the pandemic. So go there, go get some popcorn, go get a soda, go watch one of these great movies, and go show some love to the people at your local movie theater because they really did get their asses kicked through this pandemic. And right now, folks, I think the box office is back. I think a lot of the apprehension from most people, I mean, look at some of the box office projections that are coming out for Doctor Strange 2. I mean, they're talking about that being about as big an opening as Spider-Man No Way Home. So go out there to the theaters. The box office is back. Full movie slates. We're getting back to the theater. We're getting there. We're getting the theater experience just like we should. But,
Speaking of Spider-Man, I'm Back Home or whatever the fuck it's called. That's being purchased as we speak and being brought back to my house in DVD and Blu-ray form.
Nice.
I steal all the digital codes because I don't really give a shit about physical media, but I love not having to buy it.
But anyway, go check out our Patreon. Also, don't forget to go check out our Discord. I still don't have a graphic for that because I've been forgetting to do it. But we do have a Discord. The link to that is in the description below. Go down there. The movie discussions never stop. If you want to talk about anything going on Disney Plus with the Star Wars or Marvel stuff, any talk you guys want to give about spoilers for whatever movies, give us your theories. Just any talk. If you want to share some articles with us that maybe it's a story that you think we should talk about, Discord's probably the place to do it. Go join us there as well. Hey, Lady Cora, what's the next story we're going into tonight?
Well, we're going into something I love to talk about. So excuse me if I'm a little passionate. Jurassic World, people. All right. The latest dinosaur to join the Jurassic World universe. Have a Joker feel, says Jurassic World Dominion director Colin Trevorrow. Director previewed the new threat in an interview teaser with Empire magazine published Saturday, which he revealed its name and origins, called I'm going to chop this up. I've tried it 3 different ways already. Giganotosaurus or Giga.
Giga.
The Giga. For short, Dominion's big bad gets its origins from a real life source. Unlike the prior films, Indominus and the late Indoraptor, both born as genetic hybrids, the theropod was the product of the late Cretaceous period. I know I'm excited, but Frank, what do you think about the description of the dinosaur? I think it's just these breadcrumbs we're getting, waiting for this movie. It's like, I can't wait for them.
I'm interested in the way he describes it. He says, I wanted something that felt like the Joker. Trevorrow said of Giga's personality is the film's big dino terror. It just wants to watch the world burn. There is
Should we name
really
him?
Cool about
oh,
that.
never mind. We're not going political, but anyway. Yeah.
There's something really cool about that. It's like, because generally speaking, the dinosaurs have only been doing what dinosaurs do over the course of all these Jurassic Park movies. From the first one back in the 90s all the way up to the last one that came out just a few years ago. They've all just been dinosaurs doing dinosaur things. The idea of this one having a personality and maybe even some kind of motives or intentions, it kind of makes it that much more scary. Think about if a dinosaur was like walking around and you take a shot at it with a tranquilizer dart and it looks at you and it recognizes you and then you get away, but then later on it sees you, you're like, hey, that's the guy that shot that dart at me and tried to fuck me up earlier. I'm going after him again. There's something even more terrifying about that.
You can't tell me though that, like, you know, the one we all affectionately call Rexy, you can't tell me she doesn't. Like, she saved them in the first movie from the 2 or 3 raptors that were left and let them leave.
And Blue is pretty smart.
And Blue,
let's not just take.
It's like
she wouldn't be in every movie since then if there wasn't something about her that, you know. I know she's an OG, but I'm just saying, like, she's got something going on. And like Cora just said too, I was going to mention Blue. I'm like, they were talking about how intelligent the raptors were, almost like wolves, like pack animals. They, you know.
Like the comparison of pigs and dolphins to humans. I mean, I would say some of these dinosaurs are right up there with us. I mean,
maybe some of them, but it's like even when the T-Rex rolls up in there and starts wrecking shop on those raptors in the first movie, it was just something that T-Rex does. T-Rex just so happened to be there and was like, oh yeah.
I don't think T-Rex gives a shit about the humans, Jeremy. I could see the raptors. I don't know.
Could have ate them.
Now there's a little bit of a case to be made for Blue because I mean they've been saying how over the course of all these films that the raptors are smart. And as I recall, and you know we've got Brooding Gamer, the Jurassic Park expert in the chat.
I know Brady's probably losing his mind.
So he can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. But weren't Blue and the raptors in the first Jurassic World movie, weren't they genetically messed with to make them a little smarter too? I don't recall. It's been a while since I've seen the first one.
I don't know. I thought the point was that they did treat them just like any other animal.
It was more nurturing that got them to bond with the guy and be trainable. I thought. I don't think it had anything to do with the programming in their DNA.
They didn't just like hatch them and let them out into the island like they kind of did before. But they kind of do their thing.
Because he was the first one to touch them and bond with them. Like
that's what I'm saying. They treat them.
So that's
they treat them like
nurture,
animals
that's not nature.
you treat them like animals you would train. Like he's with them since they were born. They imprinted onto
Yeah.
him, and they know him. It's like they're still. I mean, I know we're just suspend your disbelief. I know there's dinosaurs. I'm like, but they're still animals at a base level. Like, yes, he's like, don't turn your back on the cage, kid. And then, he does a cool little action roll dive in front of there, and they bash right up against the gate when it closes. And I'm like, yeah, they're still gonna probably bite your head off if they tried, but like, there is some resistance like to him because, like you said, he imprinted onto them and he's been training them their whole lives, and that's someone they know and they trust. I don't know.
Oh, I agree with you.
Like I said, they hadn't really trained the old ones. Like I said, they just kind of put them in the pens and said, all right, have at it,
They've also been setting the raptors up really from the very first movie as being kind of smarter than most of the dinosaurs anyway. I mean, even the game warden in the first movie, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
The very first
Sexy
movie?
Fucker.
Yeah, the very
Really
first
sexy
Australian Muldoon.
fucker.
Yeah, Muldoon, yeah.
Muldoon.
Because even Muldoon,
Girl.
when they're having that scene right there where they feed the cow to him, he talks about how systematically they're attacking the fences for weaknesses and stuff like
Remember
that. So
when they realized the systems were down and he says, check the raptor. And he's like, oh, shit.
That's the one he was the most concerned about because, when him and Ellie go to the enclosure and it's open and he was talking about Nedry, he's like even he knew better than to mess with the raptors. I'm like, yeah, and you see that look on his face and he puts the hat on back on like a badass. I'm like, right. He
said earlier, he goes, when they look at you, it's like they know.
They remember is what he said.
Yeah, that's
they
it.
remember.
That's it.
I
I gotta watch it again. Jeremy, when I work late tonight, I'm putting Jurassic Park on, damn it.
That's fine. He's like, you look back, she just looks right back at you, and you can know she's figuring things out. I'm like, yeah. It's terrifying.
If he hadn't died, wouldn't he? It would have been so great to pop back, like as a trainer for this guy about Blue and stuff. Like, I wish he had died now.
If he was like some old, like grizzled, like guy that came, oh my god, that was so cool.
Fucking epic! I wish we could go back and say, don't kill him off.
Right.
Hold on to this character so that
eats your heart out.
Years
Steve
from now,
Well, they really couldn't bring him back. The actor that played Muldoon, I think, passed away several years ago.
Oh,
so
fucking A. Never mind.
I was gonna say they could with this whole bullshit with the little girl being a clone from fucking whatever. I'm like, you could. You're talking about a movie where dinosaurs exist. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Well, we also did get a little bit more into what we're going to see in this movie. Biosyn, Trevor told the magazine, will play a notable part in the upcoming film's plot. Biosyn got the contract to house the dinosaurs that have been captured around the world via various governments. They claim it's a research facility where they can study the pharmaceutical values of the animals, but there's some other stuff going on, obviously. While discussing Biosyn, Mamadou Athi's new character, a Biosyn employee named Ramsey Cole, was also teased, with the actor sharing that Cole is a very ambitious and forward-thinking young man. Biosyn, for the many of you who remember the very first movie, is the company that paid Dennis Nedry a bunch of money to smuggle the DNA samples out of Hammond's lab. So
Dodson, we got Dodson here.
Dodson, we got Dodson here.
You can cheap on me now, Dodson.
Nice hat. I still want them. I don't know why.
Have you guys already done retro reviews of all the Jurassic Park movies?
We're going to
there's
because,
a
like I said,
in store for that. I'm trying to get the Downton Abbey stuff done first. I want to make sure those are done and those are all loaded up and programmed to drop at certain days. And then I think we're going to move on to the Jurassic World stuff, Jurassic Park stuff. But because we'll probably be getting Brooding Gamer involved in that one too, so that we can have some fun Jurassic Park talk.
Definitely, for sure. Can I plug something real quick for him since it is kind of related?
Go for it.
Speaking of that, yes, we should be doing the old movies here soon, and old movies and quote unquote the new movies that have come out since. In leading up to this, but since he was going to do a video for hitting 500 subs, which now he's at 700 within the course of like a fucking week. I don't know what he's doing. What kind of black magic this is. I apologize for the noise. But we're going to dress up as he's going to dress up as Alan Grant. I'm definitely going to be Malcolm.
Ellie?
No. Rachel's gonna be Ellie. We're gonna do a little thing for for his subscriber special over on one of his videos. So it should be a good time. Looking out for that.
We'll have to do a teaser little promo about his channel and post it over here on Frank.
Yeah, like we're gonna have to get together and film part of it first, and then do the actual review, put the whole video together. But once we film the scene, we can give you guys like a little teaser of it.
That'd be great.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, obviously it's about what you guys think. So go down in the comments below and let us know how excited are you to see a Joker kind of dinosaur that just wants to watch the world burn. I think that sounds badass as hell. Anytime you can compare somebody to just the chaos and evil that is the Joker, it makes my ears perk up a little bit, and I kind of want to see it.
When you say chaos, I only think of one man.
Yeah, really.
I was gonna say if this doesn't whet your appetite, that's basically, put it this way, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna explain chaos theory to Rachel. Let's put it that way.
Killing me.
Hey man.
Go down in the comments below, let us know what you guys think of Trevorrow's comments about the new Giga, whatever, the Gigantosaurus, or whatever the hell it was called. The Giga for short. I think we could come up with a better name, but whatever.
They always got to go bigger.
Hey, this movie's going to kick ass for a lot of reasons. I'm pretty confident. But Lady Cora, what's the next story that we're going to get into tonight?
Well, it's about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which I have been watching for hours on end while I'm working, half paying attention, half not. Oh my God, it's going to go on forever. It's awful. So basically, the entertainment trial of the century is underway. The dueling defamation suits between Johnny Depp and his estranged ex-wife Amber Heard kicked off this week with opening arguments. Jeremy, have you been following it much? And who do you think has the upper hand early on in this trial?
It's not so much who has the upper hand as who I'm siding with. Really, that I'm kind of, But I've been trying to. I kind of got the cliff notes on it. What happened at least yesterday or today, whatever it was.
Yeah. Who do you think has the upper hand? I'm torn. I'll tell you why.
I'm trying to read demeanors. I'm trying to and just my heart just says Johnny, but I don't know.
Oh, 100%. Her lawyers, one, have very little to no experience and are fucking it up so bad.
Well, good.
They had his quote neighbor, which is basically an artist. He gave free place to live up there. His name's Isaac something, and they asked him a basic question, which was really an open-ended question, which basically was like, well, what do you think? They didn't stop him. They didn't stop him, and he said a whole bunch of horrible shit about Amber and made her look so bad, and it was their questioning on a cross.
Yeah, and then you know what she's just been doing? She's just been glaring at the jury and just smirking away the whole time.
When she's talking to her lawyers, because there's two tables, one in front, one in behind, and Johnny and Amber are sitting in the front table with one lawyer or two, and then the back table are the ones where the computers are and the people who are running all the other shit with the microphones, the people who talk to the judge and stuff. And it's just, she goes, you can tell how maniacal she is, because she'll be sitting there looking all somber, like, oh, poor me. And then she turns around and hands something to one of the lawyers. Like, she thinks somehow the camera just automatically turn off when she's turning her head or something. And she smirks like, and then she immediately changes her face. And it's just, the testimony of Johnny's sister was, it wasn't, she didn't do much for him, but she didn't do anything bad for him. And then the thing is, there's all these text messages and audio clips. And for some reason, I don't know why, there are some key people who are really crucial to the storyline here who are just having old recorded depositions played that aren't actually there testifying, like their doctor and one of their friends. And it's just like, why are depositions from last year being played rather than having them testify? I don't know how to answer that. And then today, I was watching it live. Some girl named Gina, who's friends with Johnny, who spent time with him, was at their wedding, this and that. She was on the stand, and all of a sudden, she said something that triggered Amber's a ridiculous lawyer, Elaine, the one who kept calling arnica cream Amica cream because she can't fucking read without reading glasses. I don't know. And basically, all her testimony got scrubbed from the record because they figured out that she'd been watching the testimony from the 2 days before. And the judge asked her, were you watching the testimony? She goes, yes. She goes, okay, you're excused. Got her out of the room immediately. They come back from a break, and she literally tells the jury, just ignore everything that woman said. She'd been talking for a while. And so it's just crazy how something as simple as a defamation suit about an op-ed opinion piece that was put in print is bringing about all this personal. I mean, I'm hearing stuff that I wouldn't even want to know about my best friend's relationship. I'm like, why do people want to know this shit? Why does this matter? And basically, Amber's lawyer.
You're gonna find something somewhere.
But the thing is, I listened to her people read the piece in whole at the opening statements, and I've read it a couple times. I'll be honest, it doesn't say his name. It doesn't. It's really murky to say it's a defamation suit that has grounds. I'll be honest, in my opinion. However, she is just the counter. You're getting sued. And you counter with double the amount of money. So he's suing her for $50 million. She wants $100 million in response.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you guys deserve each other. This crazy. I don't think he did anything wrong. And I think he is innocent of the things she's claimed. But
I do too.
I don't think this is the way maybe to get her, quote unquote. But, if this is the only route he has, so be it. And technically, there's there was a quote that one of the lawyers said, basically it's defamation by inference, because she didn't specifically say his name. But she gives dates and time frames of when she was, quote, a victim or went through stuff, and anybody who knows her knows that's when she was with him. And during her divorce, she made claims about something about 2016. So you just put two and two together. But the thing is, I don't think this article, op-ed piece, is why he was blackballed or blacklisted, for these.
Either way.
It was because of the accusations. But this is just, I don't know. It's a lot of personal dirty laundry being aired. There are either people who are really boring or people really passionate up on the stand. I really don't understand why they're there in court. They don't have to be there, but they both are there. It seems like it's attention seeking on her part, and her legal team is really ridiculous. His team is solid. I mean, they are on it. They have their shit together. I think he's going to win. I don't know anything about this 7-member jury with 4 alternates, because they don't let you see them, of course. And the gallery is quite light. I don't think they're letting many people in. But I just don't understand why they're airing so much. But basically, Amber's team said in their opening statements, you wanted to be here, so we're just going to tell everybody everything. So this is what you get, Johnny. And he's doing a good job of being composed and respectful. She is not. Anybody who knows the 80s movie Working Girl, she came to the trial on the first day dressed exactly like Melanie Griffith on the very final scene when she goes to her new job with the gray suit jacket and the black shirt with the tie. And I was like, fuck you. You're not Melanie Griffith. You are not coming to start some new amazing thing, pioneering, some chapter in your life. I just wanted to knock her teeth out. She looks so ridiculous. But I don't know. She has a right to her personal life and her opinions, but God damn, she did say some horrible things in that. And then there's all this stuff coming out that she supposedly, one of the stories in her op-ed was actually, excuse me, the assault story of one of her former assistants that she's basically kind of stole and used as part of her tale of how she's been a victim. And let me tell you, this testimony is not kind to either of them. Her former assistants had some horrible things to say about her. And I don't want to know how bad it's going to be when they both get on the stand themselves. On cross with the other's team questioning them. That's going to be messy. So for now, it's been either boring or kind of like overly emotional and biased. The judge is very, I don't know what the word. She's a good judge. She seems to be very fair. She's all about procedures being done right and making sure both teams are ready and making sure and the teams are working together. They're actually talking well and sharing information well. So there's no tension between the legal teams and the judge. That is like all going quite smoothly. So, I mean, I don't think there's room for a mistrial on any procedural terms from what I've seen so far. But I'll be damn frank, this is going to be ridiculous drama. And at the end of this, nobody will want to date either of them, I don't think, because all their dirty laundry is going to be out there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I had to turn the chat off because it was going so fast. One couldn't read it, and the comments are just terrible. So, and I think the best statement that's come out of it is one of the therapists they saw. She basically testified that this is a situation of mutual abuse and tension in different ways, and neither of them is a saint in this situation. But at the same time, he didn't go out and blast her. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my take on it. I've been watching and I will continue to watch it every day, but it is a mess.
This whole thing.
I mean,
honestly, I've been avoiding this whole thing on here for a long time. Just because while it's an entertainment story, it's about the entertainers' personal lives and doesn't necessarily have an effect on the entertainment side of it all. At least not yet, anyway. I look at this and I think the obvious thing that I don't understand why not a lot of people figure out, they're both just pieces of shit. I can't in good faith side with either one of them. It's like he's had a reputation for a long, long time of just being a difficult person to deal with, like at every level, both on the set, personally. I mean, he's already had, even before Amber Heard, he had a couple relationship issues that have made the news.
I don't think he's been accused of being abusive, and she has.
But he's got a reputation of being difficult to deal with, and it has not gotten better over the years. She is kind of the typical Hollywood starlet that fame went to her head. And the thing that gets me is, like, she's only really got one franchise to hang her hat on, and that's Aquaman. And I gotta be honest, I don't think she's going to be in the third Aquaman film. I mean, I think the only reason she's going to be in this next one is because they already had this shit filmed and all this stuff popped off, or they were in the process of filming it and they didn't think that financially it was feasible to recast her and reshoot all her stuff.
You think she only got where she is because of Johnny? Because that's been said in testimony that she used him.
No. She had critical acclaim from some roles way before she started dating Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
She had done one or two small things where a lot of people really liked her work, and even though the films or projects themselves didn't do very well, they really liked her. So she obviously had some talent. Now, I mean, there's a couple of problems with this, and number one, there's an age difference. It's not always the killer of a relationship, but it can sometimes be a red flag. He's 28 years older than she is. That's not always a good thing. So sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes that difference in maturity level can be the spark that ignites the powder keg. You have both their two personal histories of being fairly difficult to work with. Look, they're both just, the reality is they're both toxic, terrible people. And they ended up in a relationship with one another. And when you put two volatile chemicals in the same container, what happens? Sometimes it's a big boom. And that's what we're dealing with right now, is we're dealing with the big boom. Look, the best thing these two could do for their career at this point, and they're not going to do it because they're both dumb as fuck when it comes to this whole situation, is they're both going to drop their suits and walk away. That's the smartest thing they could do, because Johnny Depp is already going to have to let the stink from this whole thing wear off before anybody's going to touch him again. And he's 56? Something like that?
58, I read an article.
Mid-50s, yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a while. So he may be 70 or older before anybody really wants to give him a shot again. And at that point, his career is almost over. Now, for her, if she's lucky and walks away from this thing right now, let's say she wins. If she's lucky, she might be able to hold on to the DC stuff and Aquaman, but that might be about it.
She has to shut the fuck up about this, though. She has to stop playing the victim card and just move on.
I don't think anybody's going to want to deal with her if she keeps on acting in the manner that she's acting. And let's face it, we talked last week, I think it was, about Ezra Miller. DC's dealing with this problem with him as well. If they end up shit-canning Ezra Miller, you have to imagine she's probably not going to be that far behind, especially if she loses this case.
Hope
Because at this point they're already about 4 inches away from blowing up the entire DCEU and starting over again. They would have no qualms about cutting her loose. No qualms at all.
I don't understand
and she's
why
not the main star. She's not the main star. There's plenty of girls that you can put a red wig on and have them act like they're swimming around Atlantis with Jason Momoa. So it's not like she's that vital to the Aquaman franchise. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, a lot of the things they're talking about are very personal things, like medications they're on, drugs they've admitted to taking, and like intake forms for like potentially going to rehab, and what, it's just like, this is very personal. Like, I don't need to know that she has a tendency to go into rage fits when she mixes Seroquel with this and this and this, and what type of drugs they were passing out at their wedding on his island while they partied for 3 days. Like, I get it. You're probably a normal person when you're sober, and when you're intoxicated and mixing drugs and alcohol, you're going to be a different person. That's the case with everybody. I don't need to hear all this. It's just mind-blowing to me how much partying these people do, and it's a whole different world. It's very hard to relate to.
If you had all that money in the world too, I mean, like we've said before, money does weird shit to people.
Look what they're doing now. They're sitting in a courtroom having all their personal shit aired out.
Well,
for the sake of ego and
well, it's just like what I was saying. So I was just saying about Will and Jada. I'm like, yeah, well, you're a big, well-known Hollywood couple. So, and the fact that you don't help your case by putting it out there on a live talk with your family every. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but like whatever that thing is.
Their entire relationship was gunpowder mixed with gasoline, mixed with sparks, mixed with anything explosive. It's like they just poured it all in the same blender and mixed it up.
It's an eternal flame that's lighting everything on fire every 2 seconds.
And they were just waiting for the spark. Because look, it's like, for one, Hollywood relationships have a way of not working out anyway. Some of them rather spectacularly not working out. Then you've got these two people who have the personal issues that they do. Then you factor in that you're in Hollywood, which is not exactly the kind of place where a healthy lifestyle is promoted. Let's just put it like that. It's like there's so many things that was like, it's like when you look at them, if you saw somebody pouring, again, all these explosive things into a pot, you'd be like, there's really only one way this is going to end, and that's going to be with a crater in the world. And that's exactly what we're getting now. We're seeing the mass ejection of mass from the crater from when this thing finally blew up. That's what we're seeing. Look, I like I said, I think the smartest thing these two could do would be just to both of them drop their lawsuits and walk away, because the divorce has already been finalized and is done, right?
Yes, it has, and it's all very. And she even released a statement. I wish Johnny well. He didn't really do anything that wrong. Yeah, blah blah blah.
I'm sure she wrote that.
The same publicist that wrote Will Smith's apology the day after the slap probably wrote that fucking bullshit. But look, it's just
maddening. They had to do this on 2 continents. He tried it not against her, but against a publication in the UK. And there's talk. It's just, we have to focus on more important things. And I don't know. He has a right to sue her. She has a right to counter sue. But it's just, I don't know. I'm watching it because, one, it's something to watch, and 2, I'm watching a little more because you said you want to cover it a bit. But it's just, I don't know. Watching this shit makes me feel really normal and very okay that I have to live on a budget and live a quiet, simple life that nobody knows. Nobody's reading my text messages on a public record. Nobody's having my therapist from 20 years ago on a stand talking about notes she wrote about me. I get to have privacy, and that is worth living a simpler life. There we go.
I agree.
I'm only
to be famous, but I never wanted a part of fame.
I'm just more so kind of on the side of, like, I want to see some sort of some sort of justice out of this, because I'm like, look, I know there's the whole Me Too thing with women who've been sexually assaulted or assaulted in any fashion, which is awful in its own right. But I'm like, you understand this happens to everybody. And it's kind of scary when you start thinking about that, how many females it happens to and then how many males it happens to. And I feel like it's not brought to this kind of situation where I'm like, if you said you saw some girl is beating up on this guy, it's like, it wouldn't hold the same gravitas as, a guy beating up on a girl. And I'm saying, I hate to say that, but that's kind of the way it is. I'm like, and maybe this is just me kind of just not giving a shit, because I'm just like this. I will flat out admit I'm being biased and emotional about it. I'm like, I want to see this bitch get taken down, because I have been in his situation.
I think she should have to admit that she lied.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But is she going to do even something as simple as that? Is she going to do that? No.
Someone who said they know her closely, who was interviewed but didn't want to be named, like 2 or 3 days before the trial, said she's so deep in this lie that she's never going to dig herself out because she thinks it would just ruin her life.
Yeah, and then they're going to be hanging from their neck in a 6-foot tall room with a 7-foot rope. Like, it's in the next week. Like, I'm just saying, I've been in this kind of relationship, and I don't know. It's a mess, and it's hard to get out of. It was never something this big to me. Like, obviously, I'm not famous. I'm not,
No, but it was this big part of your life, so it matters.
I know. I'm like, it does do shit to you. It's a weird learning experience, and I'm like, I feel like there's just no repercussion to the person who does the abusing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're being the victim. Your victim's just left there with, well, I mean, you kind of have to pick up your pieces. You may have a support system, be it friends, family, even coworkers, whatever it may be. And you learn from it and you move on. And then it's like, I think I mentioned this before, or I mentioned to somebody. I saw a TikTok. I said, like, hey, did you ever date a narcissist? Guess what? They didn't change. I'm like, yeah. Like, I think we mentioned that last. So I'm like, you know what? You can take pride in the fact that, I mean, if you've moved on from it, and you can just kind of laugh at it, like, you know what? They're ruining someone else's life, and you know what? That sucks, but at least it's not me.
You'd think they'd be embarrassed, right, Frank? That all this stuff is coming out. Don't you think?
Well,
or do you think they don't care?
Oh, you're a public person. I don't think it's really.
I think that both of them very wrongly think that if they win this case, that they're going to still be famous and the other person's going to fade away.
So they think it's worth having all their personal shit aired out for this.
So they think it's worth it. Me, you, Jeremy, and anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together are looking at this and saying, you guys are pretty much both done. It's like, because think about it. If Johnny Depp wins, like I said, if he wins, the stink from this is going to take years to wear off of him for anybody to give him a serious chance. I mean, because Disney's already said there is no more Jack Sparrow, that he is not a part of that franchise anymore, if they make any more movies. He's had most of his other movies that the 1 or 2 that he had that were kind of in production have all been stopped. So he's got nothing going on right now, unless he wants to go on tour with Hollywood Vampires, which, whatever. But she, like I said, even though she's gotten some critical acclaim, the only real thing she has going for her is Aquaman. And I gotta be honest, win or lose, I mean, if she wins her defamation suit, maybe they'll kind of, since it's going to be another 3 years before we see another Aquaman movie anyway, maybe they'll go ahead and let her stick around and play the role. But for the most part, like I said, they finally are being forced to deal with this Ezra Miller thing, and I'm confident that they're going to deal with Ezra Miller and they're going to be like, you know what? Let's get Amber Heard out of here too. Why get rid of him and keep her if she's?
But she has an out.
Piece of shit.
She is a young kid. She's going to play the mom card. She'll go, I'm going to focus on motherhood for a while and not take any roles for a while. She's going to play the card of, I'm healing from all of this. Yeah, but that's the thing is everybody's going to be like, good, we're not going to watch this shit anyway. It's like, so take all the time off you want. We don't want you in Hollywood anymore. Yeah, but she will never admit that she lost jobs because of this.
It's not going to matter what she admits. We're all going to know.
She'll find some guy who's got money or some hot guy who will, whatever, and she'll get remarried who will believe her bullshit and she'll go on with her life. I don't know.
That's the thing. I think both their careers at this point have been irreparably damaged because of all of this. So that's why I'm saying if either one of them had any brains at all, they would both just drop their suits and walk away now. Because, look, Johnny Depp's a hell of an actor. He's been in some fucking amazing movies. I mean,
you should do a podcast or something. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
He can still do stuff. I mean, he can still do stuff. I think it's like, yeah, what we're saying is like Amber Heard has still got more of her life ahead of her than Johnny does.
Yeah, but she looks so bad from all this. I mean, she's what, 35?
Oh, she does.
Oh, I know.
38 or 37. 36.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, I mean,
she's not much older than me. Yeah,
I think what's gonna look best case scenario for her is she ends up probably a supporting actress for life. I don't think anybody's ever gonna give her a big role again.
Or some SJW talk show host like the fucking View. You know?
Yeah, but nobody watches that. They wouldn't be able to pay her enough. I think she would think that she's worth a certain amount of money, and most people are going to look at her and be like, maybe 10 years from now if you hit success, but we're not going to give you bajillions of dollars right now because you're
just write a tell-all book, but oh wait, everything you put in the book is already on the public record. Ha ha.
Yeah, but there are so many sycophants out there that are Team Amber or Team Johnny. You know, all of the Team Amber people would run out and buy it because they're sycophants. You know, all the Team Johnny people would run out and buy it just so they can shit on it. She'd probably make a bunch of money.
Two Team Johnny fans have been kicked out of court, by the way.
Complete work of fucking fiction. I don't think any of that shit would be real. I'm pretty sure she'd contradict half the shit she said in court, and I'm pretty sure she would come up with all kinds of excuses for it. It would probably make her. It'd probably make her a pretty penny off the jump, but it not lasting money. Like I said, the best thing these two could do right now is drop all their cases and walk away. But they're too dumb to do it. They're too conceited. They're both after the win because they have to be seen as beating the other person in their lies. When the reality is neither one of you guys are being entirely honest. Like, you both are just bad people. It's like, so, I mean, it's okay. There have been some really, really good actors that have been terrible fucking people. There have been some really, really good people at what they do in whatever industry they're in that have been terrible fucking people. Admit to what you are. Admit that you're a narcissistic, toxic, overbearing, egomaniacal piece of shit and move forward. Because that kind of thing plays in Hollywood. They're not going to care. So you can still have a career if you pull out of this now and walk away. But no, they're not going to do it because both of them feel the need to be the winner in this. And the reality is neither one of them are going to win. Johnny Depp's career might be over. I don't know if... I really don't know if anybody's going to take a chance on him again. At least not for anything big. I think unless maybe he finances it himself. I think in about 10 years, you might see him jump onto a couple of smaller projects. And that'll be okay because he's been really good in those. They're not going to make the kind of money that he's used to making. He's not going to be getting $25-30 million paydays for a movie. It's going to be more like $1 million, which, you know, I say that like it's not a lot of money. But for someone like Johnny Depp, who likes to go buy paintings and statues and shit like that, who has this opulent lifestyle.
By the way, they're giving hints about how much his life cost. I had no idea, but evidently he and Amber were putting up at least 6 people in apartments free for the people that they were paying for. And, you know, it's just like, how much money does this guy... And then he has like... how many personal assistants and PR people and doctors on retainer. I'm like, fucking A. I mean, I can't imagine.
He's not going to be able to maintain his lifestyle. So that's why
I need to hit up Johnny Depp. Jesus, he'd be friends with him.
That's independent of like costs of raising children and travel. And I mean, it's just, I mean, from what it sounds like, they've never traveled with less than 10 people anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Is he's not going to be able to keep up his lifestyle. And quite frankly, neither will she. I mean, she's gotten so used to being, you know, the little fucking princess or whatever the hell she thinks she is. It's like I don't think her career is gonna ever recover either. I mean, even if they both walked away right now, I kind of wonder how much good it would do either one of them. I mean, look, I think he's pretty much done, and her, it's like who's really gonna want to put her in a serious movie again? I mean, she might do some smaller independent stuff and make a pretty good living for herself, but she's not going to be able to afford her own personal hairdresser that walks around with her every minute of every day with a whole boutique in her bag with hairspray and a chair for her to sit in and all that shit. She's not going to be able to afford to pay somebody $150,000 a year to follow her around.
They should have just stayed together. Then they could have afforded all of it. And lived in separate apartments.
Yeah, someone's going to end up dead.
Then it would have had Phil Hartman all over again, and that was terrible.
That really was terrible.
God, this whole thing is just a train wreck. There's nothing about this that's good, and the fact that anybody is either Team Amber or Team Johnny to me is just ridiculous. They're both just terrible people. They were terrible to each other.
Well, thanks for putting that tweet out.
I mean, I agree with him more. I think she was the one who was more of the aggressor, but neither are truly innocent in all of this.
But that's what I'm saying is how could
I don't think he lied.
How could you?
I don't think he lied.
How could you side with either one of them knowing that they're both terrible? That they're both
She
guilty of being
also
abusive.
is
No, because I can
worse than this,
relate
she
to
lied
Johnny. That's what I'm
publicly
saying.
about the abuse. Did you know that her lawyers brought up a new allegation she's never said before, that saying that he actually raped her at the end of their marriage? Like, and that was never brought up before. But in their opening statements
Yeah,
or
suddenly
shortly
that
after,
came out, huh?
it's like, what?
If she's lied before, I mean, I don't think I trust what she says.
I'm just saying, it seems like she's escalating it in this trial
Hey,
specifically.
like I said, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get mine. Is what she's probably thinking, because he said 50, she's like 100. You know, she's like that
I
little
know,
dickhead at the
right? That
auction.
number is
She's that dickhead at
really
the auction who's
ridiculous.
like, you said 20, I'll say 50. Fuck you, you know,
Mhm.
like that. You just because you said a big number doesn't okay, but you better back that shit up. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be like, I own a private island with my dinosaurs and I make this much money. You know, fuck you. You don't have. I don't know. I'll try to tie that back in. That's just the first thing that popped in my mind.
I love it.
Neither one of them are John Hammond. John Hammond was good.
No,
He had great intentions. He loved those animals. Damn it.
he did. It's what did he say in the Alan Grant say in the third movie? Some of the best. What did he say? He said, "I did it with the best intentions." He's like, some of the worst ideas imaginable were done with the best intentions. I'm like, he's like, you're no better than the people that built this place. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, kind of that idea.
That the path to hell is built with or good intention or something like that.
That's right.
There we
paved
go.
with good intentions. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of any of this anymore, except for that they're both just terrible pieces of shit that don't deserve to win.
Well, she's worse for lying. I don't think he's lied about anything. He's admitted his fault.
But is worse really guilty here? It's like,
no,
if
no.
I murdered 5 children and you murdered 6, are you so much worse than me? We're both
no. We both
shitty
belong in
people.
prison.
well, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that either one of them belong in prison necessarily, because this is.
But if we murdered people in your scenario, we would both.
But that's exactly my point, though. Is they both have been equally terrible to each other. Does it really matter that one went really a half a step farther than the other?
That's what you do.
I would say
don't know.
I'm not saying I'm Team Johnny, but I mean, especially adding the rape allegation. I mean, she is countering. I mean, I don't know. I think she's worse than he is, and I think that's okay to acknowledge. I don't know how.
Terrible though. That's what I'm saying. It's like who would be Team Frank and who would be Team Cora? It's like we both murdered children.
I'm just saying. I think she's pretty awful for the lies.
But what if
I'm a woman?
But what if I apologize and you didn't? Does that negate the fact that I killed one more child than you?
But part of it is I'm a woman, and I'm hard on women who use sexual assault or the experiences of being treated poorly as a woman through sexual means. Is in playing the victim and lying about it. It makes all of us other women who've gone through those things hate you and make us look like people should question whether we're telling the truth or not. So I have a particular bias against her for making victims look bad. And if it's true that she basically stole and copied an assault story from a former assistant that she used as part of her op-ed, oh my God. I mean, it's just disgusting. And now adding this rape thing in the trial, that is where I'm coming from in my disdain for her. Now, I don't think this op-ed maybe is the right means for her being held accountable for that. But I'll tell you what, she's making it really hard to have any respect for her at all, independent of their relationship.
I just have a tough time having respect for either one of them.
Agreed, but he has not lied about sexual assault being happening to him from her. He has not lied about being raped. He has not, written an op-ed piece claiming he's a victim with other people's stories. Potentially, who knows? But the point is, that's where I'm
he didn't cut off his own fingers and be like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, she threw a vodka bottle and somehow exploded and messed up the end of his finger, and. It's the stories are crazy, Jeremy, as you know, and Frank. I'm just saying there's more to it for me as a woman. Being hard on a woman who's using something that shouldn't be used as a weapon. So,
but shouldn't you also be equally hard on him for his obvious missteps that he's made? I mean, because he's abused her at least somehow, right?
There's some acknowledgement that he might have, when he was blacked out, he may have hit her once, but that's all there seems to be true confirmation of. I'm just saying, people who lie about sexual assaults and make these claims are a particular high level of evil in my mind.
Because then it lessens it for any of the people who actually have gone through that. It kind of just throws a middle finger up to you.
I hope, if it's true that she stole this assault story from a former assistant, I hope this assistant sues her for defamation and stealing her story.
I think what we're saying, I think what
$100 that she gets from Johnny.
I think what we're trying to say is, it's like she seems like she's trying so much harder to make some sort of, I don't know, some sort of case out of this.
Dirtier is what it is.
They're both acting, because I've seen pictures of like videos of them in court. I've watched a little bit of Popcorn Planet stuff about it, just to kind of like try to figure out whatever this mess is. And they're both trying to play a role. Johnny's just playing a different role. He's trying to sit there and look sad and sympathetic, and he knows he's trying to look sad and sympathetic. She's sitting there throwing these glances around like she's oh so confident, because she's trying to play the role of being oh so confident. They're both playing a role. That's what they do.
But didn't we just say, like, well, they are people just like anyone else?
Yeah, but
just because they're actors, you just have to say, well, we don't believe them at all because that's what they do for a living. I understand what you're saying. But you can't just be, like every actor, like, well, they act, that's what they do. I'm like, yeah, well, that is the part they are literally playing. I don't think they're just playing it up just to do it because they're putting on a big, wrestling show for us. Like, wrestling ain't fucking real either,
She was just claiming he was, quote, mean to me. We yelled at each other. He yelled at me a lot. He made me feel belittled. He, didn't include me. He ignored me. That would be totally different. But when you're bringing up sexual assault claims, it just goes on a whole nother level of what the fuck.
That's something you don't just throw out there,
Because, saying he's a rapist, for fuck's sake, I'm someone who thinks Kobe Bryant was a rapist, and he's been glorified in his death. But, all the same, he still was a family man, and he could not, I don't know. But to say that someone like Johnny Depp, who hasn't been convicted or proven as a rapist, or have somebody in court, I don't know. But it's not fair to make these claims against him. It's so convenient that she makes these claims now, when in part of her divorce settlement agreement in this open letter she wrote, yes, a PR person wrote it, but she signed it and put her name to it, saying, I wish him well. He's a good person. I have no ill will for him. But then now she's saying he raped her. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
it's just.
I think she just thinks that's just going to be, that's my little ace in the hole. I'm going to sink this bucket with this thing because she knows it's going to work. I'm like, yeah, because you don't. I hate to say it, it's because you're a woman and you don't have to prove anything. You can just say it, and
really
guess what?
Now
even
as a woman,
over.
It's wrong. You should have. If you've been wrong, you should have to prove it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you ever hear any of these allegations or anything, I'm like, okay, so how about we pump the brakes for a damn second, instead of just, hey, this person did this to me, and they're immediately thrown in jail and their whole life is ruined. Then you're like, okay, maybe now let's look into it. And then you find out, and it's like, well, it's too late now. You already fucked up all my shit, and now I can't reel back from it, even if I was proven innocent.
Her personal assistants who've been with her for years were on the stand saying, that they never saw him doing anything of the level that she's claiming to him. They never saw bruises on her face, that she's lying about that she had to wear makeup every day to cover up bruises, that she never wore makeup unless she was going out to an event or something, and because she didn't do her makeup herself very well, so she always had to have someone else do her makeup for her. It's just like hypocrisy of it all. And the fact that I know all this is maddening to me, because I shouldn't know any of this. And I'm getting to a boiling point, so I'm going to shut up.
No, I feel it. Trust me. It's a weird emotional stake for myself as well. I'm like, it's dumb.
That's the best way to put it. It's two words. It's dumb. Thank you, Jeremy. That's perfect. Absolutely fucking
We're We're gonna open up a merch store. Just put
It's
Amber
dumb.
/ Heard. It's dumb 2022.
I love it.
That'll be the
Sorry,
campaign
Frank.
tagline. It's dumb.
I'm going on about it. But
That's one of the reasons I want to make it a topic. I do, even though I kind of shit on both of them just out of hand. I know you guys have actually been following this thing, so I wanted you guys to have a little bit of a talk about it and kind of air some of this stuff out. I've been kind of keeping track of it in clips and bits and pieces. I haven't been watching. I know they're airing it across like different YouTube channels. I think ABC, Court TV, and all that's running it. But I'm not. I'm like, nah. I'd rather watch Night Court during the day and play some video games or go work in my yard or something than to have to sit and listen to this. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, who knows what's going to come out between now and next week. We'll give you guys another update next week. We'll let Jeremy and Cora go over all that stuff. I would like to try to find someone. Try to find like two hardcore, like one team Johnny, one team Amber, and just kind of let them argue. But
well, I'll be team Johnny person.
Yeah,
I was like,
Jeremy could be that.
I'm team Johnny.
There are lots of people out there. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to find one on Twitter. I need a Team Amber person, hashtag Team Amber person for a podcast.
Good luck finding one. I mean, I would think anybody with some common fucking sense would, not be on her side. But hey, whatever, your opinion's your opinion.
I think anybody with common sense would be on my side. I think they're both morons. They both deserve to lose.
I think the people on Amber's side are people that are maybe perhaps sexual assault victims who happen to believe her and can't imagine someone lying about it. And they may be good-hearted people that are just blinded and naive that people lie about it. It's really my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. But on the flip side, the reason why I'm a Team Johnny person is because I'm like, I've been through a narcissistic, abusive relationship like that. And I'm like, I don't want to see you just sit here and get away with this bullshit. I want to see it blow up in your fucking face.
I think she's
a little stupid smirk on it.
Problems in their relationship, to be honest, from what I've heard. Mind you, he has had sobriety issues and stuff, but even there's testimony that from a doctor, Kibber, something like that. It was basically, he was saying that when he had a sobriety plan for Johnny, she was still supplying him on the down low with cocaine, purposely, ruining his sobriety plan.
Well, it's Hollywood. It's not her, somebody else.
Yeah, I'm just saying she's his wife. She's supposed to want to help him. She was part of the reason why he went to the doctor to try to get clean. And on the down low, she's sneaking him cocaine. And he confesses it to the doctor. There might be cocaine in my drug test results because Amber's been giving it to me. And Amber has conversations with the doctor about she wants him to get better. That's pretty sneaky shit. And that's underhanded and narcissistic. I don't know if you agree, Jeremy, but it's like, come on. I don't know.
You can't sit here and enable somebody and then be like, what the hell?
And tell the doctor, I want him clean. I'm going to be his biggest support. I'm going to help him. And then give him
keep slipping it in his fucking scrambled eggs in the morning. You can't be giving him Coke eggs.
You need to take it. You can't be sober. He was fucking with him. It was like a mind game. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Homie, don't play that shit. That's why I'm saying.
She's pretty awful. I mean,
But like I said, there's going to be plenty more to update next week. So.
And I'm going to watch all of it, Frank. I will be watching all of it.
So come join us so you can get the down low on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard chaos from our two resident experts. But as for me, I'm just gonna listen to what they say because I don't want to watch it.
He's gonna be that. He's gonna be that meme, that gif of the Michael Jackson just sitting there eating the popcorn, just watching the shit show happen.
Watching the shit. The OJ trial was so much more entertaining.
Oh, it was
so much more entertaining than this.
And I'm really excited about a couple trials coming up. Did you hear about the equestrian Olympian trial? He got his verdict today.
No.
Oh yeah, he was found
Olympic equestrian.
Yeah, it was just like this really dramatic murder thing, and he was bullied and treated like shit, and it was kind of like borderline self-defense. Anyways, he was found guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity, and the poor guy, man, poor guy. So he's gonna go get tested or evaluated, and he may or may not go free, but nice to see that all these trials are actually happening. And because can you imagine if COVID shit was still going on and all this stuff was backlogged? It would take us 20 years to catch up. So, anyways.
Yeah.
From the
COVID the theaters are back. Glad the courts are back. So,
yeah.
Speaking of theaters,
kind of makes me miss the old days of COVID when we couldn't leave the house.
So what movies are coming out in the next week that everybody should go see? Or I know
Fantastic Beasts. Ironically enough.
Yeah.
Go see how Mads Mikkelsen deals with this whole wizarding war that he's trying to start.
Yeah, Sonic 2 and Ambulance just came out. Fantastic Beasts comes out tomorrow. The Northman and Unbearable Weight of Talent come out next week. That's what
yes.
That's what I'm all about. Is both.
It's like who we can all sit back and enjoy the ridiculousness.
That guy is so hot, by the way. Oh my god! I don't know his name.
I've heard some critics say that The Northman is off the fucking chain. That movie is unreal.
The trailer looks amazing. Did you see him in True Blood?
No.
Eric?
One of the critics got on Twitter and said, "Don't watch the last trailer for The Northman. It gives away way too much."
I haven't seen it.
And I haven't been looking for it, but as soon as I read that, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to.
If you want to see him naked, watch True Blood. He's naked in that movie from the backside.
unless the trailer. You don't know unless the trailer doesn't have anything that is actually in the movie and everybody's just fucking with you.
Maybe.
Ooh.
That's when Doctor Strange rolls in and casts a fucking spell and makes everybody forget who he is.
Right.
That's what Mordor.
Speaking of
like, really strange, damn it. We just talked about this.
Battlefield Doctor Strange.
Things just got out of hand.
Doctor Strange comes out in, oh God, I forget when.
May?
May 20-something?
May 6th.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So be looking for May 9th is our Doctor Strange review.
Man, we're gonna be firing out movies fucking every week, man.
Yeah, and then Firestarter comes out the next week, the new iteration of the Stephen King novel.
Oh, that's right. I just saw a commercial for that Sunday.
And then the Friday after that, the torture finally stops for Cora and I as we get to go watch Downton Abbey: A New Era. And then the week after that, we go from the nice, quiet, surreal Downton Abbey and Downton and Heavenshire, wherever it is, to feeling the need for speed and Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, baby.
Plenty going on. And then, of course, and then a couple weeks after that is
wait.
So there's plenty
going on. Why are we talking about Maverick?
I have to do my obligatory fuck you, Tom Cruise. But I do like Top Gun, but
I love Top Gun. What's coming out?
Top Gun Maverick, the sequel.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The week after Downton Abbey: A New Era. So
are they gonna fuck up? Are they gonna fuck up the lore of Top Gun with this shit?
Probably, but hey,
I think they're gonna. Are they gonna make him like some deadbeat dad or like some asshole?
No, that last trailer that came out.
No, that's just Tom Cruise. But got him.
Okay. Hopefully they don't.
No, Cora, he's playing a character. He's not being himself. Okay.
Don't listen to him, Maverick. Don't listen to him.
Awesome.
Look, I like I said, I just said I can separate Maverick and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise can eat a dick. Like Maverick, yeah, you can have the Need for Speed all you want. I don't care.
Maverick's dope. Tom Cruise is a tool.
I liked Goose.
Fucking fly high, man. Oh yeah. Goose.
I nicknamed my dog Goose because of his character.
But we'll move on now. So go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Whose team you're on. And we'll move on to the next topic. Cora, can you hang out for the next topic, or do you have to go?
Yeah, I can. Can I be team shut up for both of them? That'd be nice.
Sure.
I think it's Frank's team, yeah.
We need more Team Frank. That's what we need.
Yes.
2024. Write them in on your ballots, people.
Hashtag team. They're both douchebags. they're both toxic pieces of shit. But that's where we'll say goodbye to Lady Cora. I guess she has to go do some work. Lady Cora, what's your the internet?
I'll stay. It's just
stay?
work.
Okay.
Who cares about my job right now?
It's just me paying my bills and feeding myself.
Right.
What difference does it make?
It's just my livelihood.
Okay. I'll put it off. I'll just stay up till 4 a.m. It'll be fine.
Okay. Well, then, since you're going to stick around, what is going to be our next topic of the night?
It is going to be something you just mentioned. The Fast family continues to grow. Franchise star Vin Diesel introduces Brie Larson as the newest member of the Fast and Furious family. The actor, known for playing Dominic Toretto in the long-running Universal never-ending winning fucking story film franchise took to Instagram.
Was that exactly what was written?
No.
No, she added that
You could have said yeah.
Although I didn't disagree with her, that's why I didn't stop her.
Oh yeah.
Share a photo of himself with Kermit the Frog. I'm kidding. With the Oscar winner,
Why not?
Brie Larson. The image shows the two stars with broad smiles on their faces as she rests her hands on his shoulder. The Hollywood Reporter previously reports that Jason Momoa is set to join the 10th installment directed by Justin Lin and scheduled to release on May 19th, 2023. Frank, does this make you excited to see the upcoming 10th of 25 films in the film franchise? I added the 25. They don't actually have 15 more on the books.
Hard pass. Look, I've said it 100
Next
times.
story.
This whole franchise died. It ended with me with Paul Walker's death. That was a terrible situation for them to find themselves in as filmmakers. I thought they handled it as well as they possibly could. And I thought to myself, that was a really great ending for the franchise. Without Paul Walker, half of the heartbeat of this movie, how do you go on? And Vin Diesel found a way. He's just like, he's like, as long as the money's there, I'm just going to keep shitting on fucking film and sending it out to you guys, and you guys are all going to keep paying $17 or $18 a ticket for it. I don't like where this franchise has gone. They've been fantastic, but plot.
I think of Jason Momoa. I mean, he's going to totally bring down his quality.
But you see, that's the other thing. It's like they say that when the Dwayne The Rock Johnson joined it, that it was like Viagra for the franchise, made it so much better. That franchise didn't get any better. It changed.
Don't forget the other guy, shorter guy.
Yeah. But
what is it with Jasons? I mean, do they only like Jasons?
But that's what I'm saying, is they didn't make the franchise better. They just completely redefined it and rejiggered what it all was. Like, the first couple of movies were great. They were ground level. They were gritty. They were rooted in reality.
Tuna sandwich, baby.
These motherfuckers, they flew a Fiero in space. I mean, what the fuck?
What? I haven't seen that.
Eat your heart out,
I actually just sat down and watched Fast 9, the most recent one that came out a couple weeks ago. I started to watch it on the plane back from Houston. We went to Texas to visit family in December. And I watched like the first half of it, and I was kind of like, I'll watch the rest of it when I get there. It took me like 3 or 4 months to get back to this movie, to even want to go back and see how it all worked out. But it's
the best way to watch movies like this?
It's not
in your sleep.
Is to turn them on and put on something good like Downton Abbey.
Walk out of the room and go to bed, and it will have quote played, but you wouldn't have had to watch it.
I want to see Mary and Edith fight more than I want to see fucking Tyrese driving a Fiero in space.
I want to watch the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial more than I want to watch these movies.
I don't want to watch anything at all anymore ever again because of these two things. Because of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and flying a Fiero in space.
That's how you get people to watch these movies. Put Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in them.
Yeah, fire them out to fucking space, point them towards the sun, and hit go. That's what I want to see. I'd pay $100 a pop to watch that shit. But I mean, what gets me is that like Vin Diesel thinks that he can keep this franchise alive by just adding a bunch of muscle-bound dickheads like The Rock or Jason Momoa. It's like, dude, can you make these stories not so ridiculously stupid? Bring it back to the ground. Bring everything out of space. Yeah, literally, bring everything out from space, bring it back to the ground, and maybe become regular criminals again when you guys had, like, some real definition. It's like, the fact that they went from being guys that were boosting VCRs out of the back of fucking semis to being super spies that were flying around in space like James fucking Bond. It's not a logical... I mean, that's not how these characters evolve naturally. It's like James Bond was James Bond from the beginning of James Bond. From movie number 1, I don't even remember who played James Bond
books,
first.
By the way, not just some Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah, from Sean Connery all the way up to more recently, it's like James Bond was always just James Bond. But it's like, for some reason, we watch these fucking grease monkey hood rats suddenly become super spies? I mean, come on, dude.
I'm sorry, that's just fantastic.
Look,
you never thought that was a sentence that ever come out of your mouth, did you?
Yeah, in relation to this movie, yeah. I mean, I bought for a moment the whole dragging the bank vault through the streets of fucking Buenos Aires. It's like that. I was like, okay, I'll go with that because it's a spectacular action piece and whatever. I get it. That makes sense. But now I'm like, come on. It seemed like I think it literally was the very next movie These guys are all working for the government. They have all this tech available. Suddenly they have people with specialties, like the one girl who just came in a couple of movies ago. I forget her name. And these guys, I was like, come on, you guys, this is getting ridiculous. It's died. This whole series jumped the shark about 3 movies ago. But because it's an action spectacular, and it's one of those movies where you just turn your brain off and, you know, let it wash over you and stuff your face full of popcorn and Pepsi Cola, they keep selling. But I'm like, come on. It's like, look, Vin Diesel's a good actor. He's been in some good shit. You can't tell me that the best that he can give me anymore is Fast and the Furious. I find that really hard to believe. Early in his career, he was in some really, really good fucking movies. The Knockaround Boys, you ever seen that? Or the Knockaround Guys that he did with...
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, that's a great movie. And what is it? The one
And
movie
he's
he
only-
did when he was in the younger. Oh God! Before he did, I think it was before Saving Private Ryan.
I was gonna say Saving Private Ryan was good.
He did a movie called Sue Me or something like that, where he played like a greasy lawyer who was like really shitty, and like that was a good movie. So this guy can legitimately act, but he keeps going back to this nothing but this fucking franchise.
You think it's possible that he likes that it's so predictable and he doesn't actually have to work? It's like just phoning it in.
That's my problem.
Oh,
He's a
all I
good
gotta
actor.
do
wanna
is like
see him
work out, make sure I cut it out on the carbs so I take my shirt off. It looks good.
That's the thing is, I
And
want to see him work
nod
because he
and
is
drive a
good
car.
actor. He's been a very good actor in a lot of spots, but for some reason, it's like it started with Triple X, and I actually kind of liked the first Triple X movie. I thought it was fun. It was kind of it was kind of my generation's version of a crazy, insane James Bond. That's how that movie started out, and that's what it was supposed to be. But it's like, the Dominic Toretto character is not that. He's not whatever the hell his name was. I forget his name. But
Jason Zamber?
Yeah. Xander Cage.
Xander Cage.
He's
Sorry,
not Xander Cage. He's Dominic Toretto. Those are two very different characters, even though they are played by the same muscle-bound dickhead. But
he's not even Riddick either. That shit was kind of fun too.
Yeah, and Riddick is a different character. And even though the movies weren't really successful, I like the Riddick character.
I loved it myself.
And it's like, why not try to go back to that and try to re-kickstart that franchise? It's like,
well, he did go back to Triple X.
I think this licensing though,
Yeah,
this he
by then
probably has a lot of creative control with though.
by then they had ruined Triple X. I mean,
I know, but
yeah, but this is the problem when you give too many actors creative control. Remember, Ezra Miller was trying like hell to write a script for The Flash, so it's like I can't imagine what kind of a pile of steaming dog shit on paper that was. It's like, and this
Actually,
is the part where
speaking of
Flash
that,
goes
didn't
in
they-
there. This is the part where Flash goes in there, choke slams the girl, and takes her passport and her wallet. It's like, come
Wait,
on.
Didn't they also just say they canceled the show?
25 of these movies.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's like Marvel has somehow found a way to make a series of films that goes way beyond the standard trilogy.
They're all different.
Well, but Marvel though has been very, very careful with crafting their stories, and they've planned these things out like sometimes 10 years ahead. I mean, think about it. How long was it between when the first Iron Man movie and the first Avengers movie hit the screens? It was a good
2008 and 2012.
Yeah, so it was a good 5 years, 4 or 5 years that they planned out everything, and they had that stuff planned out long before Iron Man even hit the screen. So you probably say for 6, 8, maybe even 10 years they had at least Phase 1 all planned out. Whereas it seems like they finished shooting this one and then it releases in theaters. Then he's like, okay, now what do I want to do? I want to go to Mars. Okay, let's start shooting tomorrow. And that's kind of like their entire fucking creative process for whatever the next Fast and Furious movie is. And he thinks that he can just keep adding Jason Momoa because he's popular because of some of the stuff he's been in. By the time this movie hits, Aquaman will be out. So he'll be writing all that. Hopefully Aquaman's a good movie. And he'll be writing all that Aquaman fame. So we're going to be writing all this Aquaman fame into the next movie. We're going to put in Brie Larson because Brie Larson, even though she's not particularly liked by a lot of people as Captain Marvel, I actually like her as Captain Marvel, and I like the Captain Marvel movie more than a lot of people did. It's like she's in the MCU. We're going to get some of that MCU juice. And it's like, dude, just stop. Just make a movie with some fucking substance. And to top it all, another thing is, they keep saying that the 11th one is going to be the last one. For one, who the fuck ends on an odd number? That just seems weird to me.
No.
I don't know.
They're going to end on 25.
And again, why do you keep adding talent when you've only got 2 movies left? And Charlize Theron is coming back as whatever role she's playing. I forget the name of the movie.
It must have been paying her a lot.
But it's like, yeah, why would you keep adding talent like this if all you're going to do is 2 more movies and bounce? I really think like he wants to do these for the rest of his life. Like he doesn't want to stop with 11. He wants to get to.
They're
like,
gonna have
20.
they're gonna have Fast and Furious movies, for the rest of our lives. Let's just deal with it. Why not just have a Netflix series and make it a fucking show? Seasons.
I don't think it would
Could
make
have
much
done
money.
that.
Yeah, I don't think it would make as much money.
You know, what's a fun comparison I was just thinking about now. We've talked about this before. It's like when you talk about back it's more so in the 80s. It's like if you were in a horror movie or a slasher movie, it's like, yeah, that kind of meant your career was not really doing shit. I honestly feel like this is a modern day equivalent of like, oh yeah, you're in Fast and Furious? Okay, well, what do you do, man? I feel like you're gonna fucking ruin yourself.
Look, and you know what's funny? It's like The Rock's
You're right.
reaction to Vin Diesel trying to get him to come back, I think says a lot, because The Rock is not going to attach himself to a sinking ship. So I think he sees the end coming too.
I mean, The Rock's not like, it's not like he needs that. I think we talked about that, like with Vin Diesel. We're like, what else are you gonna do, man? I'm like, The Rock doesn't need, Fast and the Furious. He's got other shit going on.
That's
he's
exactly
successful,
my point.
you know?
Is The Rock's got fucking 20 different projects going on at any given time. Vin Diesel's got one.
Yeah.
He's got the next Fast and Furious movie. That's all he's got.
Maybe Vin Diesel should become a wrestler for WWE.
He would. Why? His wrestling name would be Dominic Toretto. He wouldn't get away from the Fast and
Exactly.
Furious. He'd walk out there with one of those mechanic shirts on that says Dom on it. His gimmick would be to walk in with with no sleeves and a fucking big monkey wrench in his hand, and he would just be Dominic Toretto. He wouldn't be anybody.
No, you know what I do? He pick up a mic. He's like, you know what? I don't got friends. I got family. And he's gonna beat somebody with a wrench.
That would be his finishing move. The family.
Or I'll send you to space. But you have Tyrell come out there for no fucking reason. Or Tyrese.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand why this continues to go on, but I mean, whatever. Let's see. He did go on to
doing market research, don't you think, to see if it's going to be making any money?
I think the only market research he's looking at is the box office. He says, "Oh, this movie made $700 million last time." Okay. That's all the market research he's doing. It's like he knows people will blindly go and throw money at the box office to this movie just to go see it because he's in it. Michelle Rodriguez is in it, and he's going after people that are talent and big names right now, like Brie Larson and Jason Momoa, just like he did The Rock, just like he did Jason Statham, just like he did Charlize Theron. Just like he did
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Who was she wasn't that big yet when she was in the film.
No, but I'm saying,
and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like just like she got not Judi Dench, who's the older lady that plays in the movies.
Helen Mirren?
Yeah, Helen Mirren. You go get Helen Mirren. You go get all these people that are gigantic name, gigantic legendary stars. They're all bigger stars than him because they are the ones that drive the marketing.
You might even try to get Daniel Craig now that James Bond is dead.
Hey, don't.
Hey, you just said it. These movies turned into a Bond movie. Yeah.
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
He's gonna roll up in that Aston Martin and smoke them all. It's gonna be hilarious.
Didn't they already do in one of the movies like the guns that pop out of the headlights or some shit like that?
Yeah, that was the last movie. Like they came out of the fucking headlights. He did like a little donut, just like annihilated everybody. I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
Not in James Bond. I mean in the Fast and Furious.
Oh, well, see? You see how much you just confused me there? I have no...
Exactly my point. They're trying really hard to be like...
Well, just like I said with the...
James Bond, and I'm like, no, they're failing badly.
Just like I said with the slasher movie comparison, I'm like, hey, it was a great idea? Let's put Jason Voorhees in space. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
It worked out great in Jason X.
Uh-huh. You got Uber Jason. Why not?
And to top it off, they're trying to make Dominic Toretto out to be a superhero. And I don't even mean that like figuratively. I mean that literally. There's a scene in the last movie where he grabs these two chains and he pulls apart these two cement pylons. I'm like, motherfucker, you're not Superman.
What?
You are not superhuman strength. You are a strong dude.
No,
yes. But
he was limping away from the last scene in the first movie. If you're fucking Superman, you're not limping in that.
And he falls like 60 feet down this fucking cement shaft into water with all kinds of debris and cement and metal falling around him and survives that shit. I'm like, dude, you're not a fucking superhero. Stop making.
I'm sorry. I watched Game of Thrones. Cersei and Jaime died when that room fell apart on them. They didn't walk out of that.
He literally had a missile silo crumble to pieces over the top of his head and somehow survived.
Jesus.
In this last movie, and I'm like, dude, you're killing me with this. Get it back.
Is he wearing a helmet?
No. He was fighting a bunch of dudes that were there to do whatever the fuck they were there to do. And of course, he beat all 25 of them all by himself because he's Dominic fucking Toretto. He's got the power of family. And then while this is all going on, he acts like he's sacrificing himself to let Michelle Rodriguez's character get away. And then the whole thing collapses. He falls God knows how many feet into the water below with all this debris and everything falling on top of him, pieces of metal scaffolding and walkways and chunks of cement and a missile silo that collapses on top of him. And he gets out.
Well, that's because Paul Walker's character saved him.
Whatever. You know what? If they said that in the movie, I'd be like, whatever. I'm going to go with it because I need something to wash down the bitterness of all this bullshit. Because it's just getting sad.
I'm sorry, you're just so funny.
It's getting sad, but I mean, whatever.
I don't think any of us will be watching the new one.
I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not.
What?
Look,
Are you serious?
I'm not running to the theater. Dude, I didn't see Fast 9 until, like I said, the only reason I even watched it when I did was because I was on an airplane and I didn't really have a whole lot to do. So I was like, whatever, I'll try watching this and see if it was bad as everybody thought. And I was like, I got about to the point where they used the car to sling over that giant whatever and into the plane, which even that part I was like, oh god, that's just so bad.
If we finally found a movie you will not pay money to see in the theater.
No. Well, there's a lot of movies
in
the theater.
Like I said, I think I stopped around Tokyo Drift, if that fucking says anything. I got through 3 of those movies and I'm like, nah, see, this is fun. I like this.
Like I said,
like, no, I can't do it anymore.
Paul Walker, they were all pretty even until the last one with Paul Walker. That one kind of ended it.
Yeah.
Everything, and the one immediately after that, I was kind of like, why? Because there's no Paul Walker. You said you're not going to kill his character, so we all know he's out there, but he's not in the movie. I was like, how do you do this? Because the chemistry is going to be off. And that very first movie without Paul Walker, I was like, this isn't the same thing, guys. There's a big missing piece here. You should just end it and be done with it and move on to other things. Because it's not like he can't go play muscle-bound dickhead somewhere else in some other movie. I don't understand why he's got to keep going back to the Fast and Furious franchise.
I see that on his Internet Movie Database. Muscle-bound dickhead.
Hey,
it's his
whatever. Whatever. But
no, don't forget superhero muscle-bound dickhead.
Every time Frank keeps saying that, all I think of is from fucking the movie Logan when he breaks that dude's shotgun in half. He's like, go play Opie Dickhead somewhere else. Right?
But yeah, I mean, you're just adding star power because you know that you can't drive this movie on substance anymore. Get it?
You shouldn't drive it. Can't drive it anyway.
Yeah, it's just disappointing that this whole franchise. I mean, because look, with Paul Walker, it was a fun franchise. It was a fun little excursion, but then, but like I said, Paul Walker died. The chemistry changed. No Brian character. It kind of altered the way I saw all this stuff, and it's just become Vin Diesel's action movie wet dream, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of your wet dream, Vin Diesel. It's like, I don't want to be a part of it. Look, Michelle Rodriguez, she's still gorgeous, still in love with her. She's still one of my celebrity crushes, but that's not enough to draw me to the movie theater to go see this movie anymore. So I'm putting a hold on this. I'm putting this one off until it pops up on a streamer somewhere, and I'm like, I've got nothing better to do with 2 hours of my time that I want to burn and never ever get back. So maybe I'll watch Fast 38 or whatever the hell the movie's gonna be called next. The Fast and the whatever, the Furious and the Fast and the Furious. I don't even know what they're calling this damn thing. The Fastest Furious of the Fast and the Furious franchise being Fast 10 of Furiousness and Fastness. I don't even get it. This is
Fast and Furious Civil War.
Yeah, pretty much. There was a tweet that I had seen a while back where they were like coming up with new names for the Fast and the Furious. One of the ones they came up with was Fast and the Furious Civil War.
That may have been me. I've said that so many times. I say it as a joke whenever they have like a string of movie titles. I'm like, one of them just needs to be Civil War. Just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I am so done talking about Fast and Furious, at least until this movie comes out, probably in a week and a half. It doesn't take them that long to film terrible movies like this, so I imagine we'll be seeing this movie at some point next summer because that seems to be the soonest that they're going to get it out and soonest to get it out in front of a camera and then into theaters. So I don't know. Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Fast 97 is coming up soon with Brie Larson. They're probably going to add Christopher Lloyd to that one too. Who else is going to be in it? We're going to have Jason Momoa, probably Spider-Man.
CG
Let's see.
Christopher Reeves playing Superman.
see.
Probably we're gonna have. I think they're gonna try to bring Coolio in to play a role for reasons I don't know. Let's see. Johnny Unitas is gonna be the starting quarterback for the family's football team at Thanksgiving. What else is going on? I think they're bringing back Abraham Lincoln to give a really inspiring speech right before the third act.
Here, Brendan Fraser's career is coming back, so maybe he's,
Well, he's in things with substance, whereas Vin Diesel's not. So, yeah. Yeah, BJ says, give me this movie, The Pacifier. Yeah, his character from The Pacifier. We're going to have that guy.
it was a great movie.
Garrett, Wayne Garrett, is that the guy's name? The guy that was in Everybody Loves Raymond? He's going to be in it too.
Oh, yeah, I played the principal, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the bad guy. He'll be the villain.
Oh, hell yeah.
Whatever.
Be awesome.
Whatever. Lego Batman's going to be in it. Who else? Gumby. Let's see. We're going to have...
one of the Play-Dohs.
Whoever, that's what I was about to say. Whoever the lead character in the Play-Doh movie is going to be in there. One of the animatronic ghosts from the Spirit Halloween movie is probably going to be in it. Let's just throw it all in there. Why not?
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, that'll be the killer weapon they use to beat him in the end. Is the partridge.
There we go.
Just spoil everything, including the kitchen sink. Screw it. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this for now until this dumpster fire of a movie actually hits the screen and we may end up reviewing it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just let Jeremy do this one on his own. It's like, here, somebody go see this movie and tell me if it sucks. Send me the video and I'll put it up on my channel. Go ahead.
Because I didn't just say I couldn't get past the third damn movie, and we're on what, 9,
He's
10
trying
now?
to get you to watch it, even though you don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I just found like they had like the
we'll
first
watch
2
it
movies.
and do a review for you. Who's dying to be on the show? Casey is raw.
Hey, maybe I'll let
Okay.
Casey do
Just
it.
watch it.
Maybe I'll let Casey do it.
There we go.
I'll give him something to do.
Like I
Anyway.
went back and watched the first 2 movies again. They were on like HBO or they were on something, and I was like, "See, this was fun. I remember this." Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm whatever. Let us know if you guys are all excited for the Fast and the whatever. I think that's gonna be the official name. Is the Fast and the whatever. The Fast and the meh. Whatever. Lady Cora, what is the next topic we're going to be talking about today?
Dumb.
Well, since you love talking about it, why don't we talk about Fast and Furious some more? I'm kidding. Okay. Moon Knight's 3rd episode dropped this week, showing Harrow and his followers discover the location of Emmett's tomb. In Cairo, Spectre and Grant both experienced several unusual blackouts while tracking down a lead to Harrow's location. After they fail to obtain information from Harrow's followers, Khonshu causes a solar eclipse to call for a council of the Egyptian gods and their avatars, who summon Spectre to a chamber inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. Khonshu and Spectre attempt to inform the gods of Harrow's plan to free Emmett, but the latter successfully denies the accusation when summoned. Avatar of the Egyptian goddess Hathor, Yatzil tells Spectre to find the sarcophagus of a Medjay who knew of the location of Emmett's tomb. Spectre later encounters Layla, who takes him to meet with Anton Mogart, an acquaintance of Layla who owns the Medjay sarcophagus. However, the meeting goes awry when Harrow arrives and destroys the sarcophagus, forcing Spectre, Grant, and Layla to fight off Mogart's men and escape into the desert. Grant is able to assemble a set of fragments from the sarcophagus into an ancient star map, but the map is 2,000 years out of date. Khonshu uses his powers to briefly turn back the night sky to resemble the map, allowing Grant and Layla to find the location of Emmett's tomb. However, Khonshu is then imprisoned by the other gods, leaving Grant's and Spectre's body unconscious and powerless, which pleases Harrow.
And that is where we are at the end of episode 3 of Moon Knight. Boy, this thing is just getting crazier and crazier and crazier as we go. It's like, I mean, Jeremy, you watched the episode. What do you think of it?
Yeah, like it's unfolding more and more, and it's just kind of funny that even though now we're with Mark Spector instead of Stephen Grant, it's just funny how now it's quite literally the script has been flipped, and it's funny seeing Stephen now in the reflections. And I'm like, it's cool to see this other side of it. I'm like, oh, now we're just kind of following him. With Khonshu still like just kind of over his shoulder speaking to him. The only thing that I know it's like I know I get out of the mindset of like, I know this is a show or like I know it's a movie, but I'm like, to me, I'm like, this is frustrating. I don't know how Ethan Hawke just walks in there and any bullshit he spouts out, they just fucking believe him. I'm like, okay, but you really just, I don't know, like even with the, point of they're like, well, look, he did all this terrible stuff and you guys banned him and you don't, why would you listen to him? He does all this dumb shit. And oh my God, like he's not right in the head. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but you don't have any other way to, if you're just, your testimony is just enough to, I mean, why can't you just be like, oh yeah, pull out the scarab. Yeah. Boom. Case closed. What other reason would you have? I don't know. It just seemed a little bit where I'm like, I know it's frustrating because I'm like, well, of course they don't believe him and he just smooth talks his way out of, basically, I don't know if they were going to imprison him in stone or what they were going to do to him. But, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of cool watching them put the night sky back. I was like, that was a pretty cool visual, to be honest.
It was pretty wild.
I think it's a little wonky how it's like, I was like, wait, what happened to the map? Like, oh yeah, dude did a little purple wibbly woos out of his little cane and just like, to the sarcophagus. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So there's pieces. I'm like, well, that makes that harder. And then I'm like, okay, I'm suspending my disbelief. I'm like, it's kind of goofy that, oh, look, it made a star. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Of course it did. And it happens to, look, it's the night sky. It still happens to work. And I mean, I am willing to let that go just for the fact, again, that sweet visual of him, like just turning, like quite literally turning the clock back on the night sky and just watching it circulate. I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool. And I know it sets up the plot point as, well, guess what? Now you don't really have Kanji to help you out. So it's going to get interesting in this next episode.
Yeah, there was a couple of things in the episode that kind of made me cringe a little bit. A few little plot holes that I was like, these kind of stand out to most people. Is number one, she has all that technology of that really cool iPad that can put together star patterns and shit like that, but she doesn't have a way to go back herself and like get like historical star charts and things. Because I was like, that's a real thing you can do. You can go back and check the position of stars relative to dates going back a long, long way. Maybe not thousands of years. I don't know if you can go back that far. But I was like, I feel like she should have that ability in her super duper fucking iPad. The other thing is, like, I didn't understand how those other Egyptian gods could know that Khonshu was doing something wrong and threaten to encase him in stone for all eternity for it, but not know what Arthur's doing.
That's what I was saying. Like, you just completely were like, you have no other way of just with your little Jedi ghost Egyptian powers, fucking know anything that really, is he really that power or whatever he's with apparently a quote fraction of the power of Emmett's power that he has, that he's just, is he a Sith Lord? Is he really just clouding your judgment that hard that you have no clue what he's doing? You're just going to blindly believe what he just says to you. I'm like, okay, sure. I get that too. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. But I mean, that fight scene though at the dude's house when he was playing whatever the hell weird spear game he was playing, I thought that was badass. That was actually the biggest fight scene we've gotten from the fully suited Moon Knight, I think, in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I didn't hate that. I like that it's kind of goofy too. That like now that we've seen it, like when it's Mark Spector as Moon Knight, it's the badass Assassin's Creed looking Moon Knight, and then when it's fucking Steven, all of a sudden he's in his little Deadpool looking white suit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's a hilarious visual. I love that he's like, okay, wait, guys, can we calm down here? Let's just be cool. He gets like stabbed. He's like, nope, take it back, Mark, go. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And he just proceeds to keep kicking their ass. Like, yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
Did you? Maybe I noticed. I don't know if you noticed this, Frank, but like, did you notice that like, with Layla? Like, she picked up that gun and like started running in on those guys and just she went to town on them. And then as soon as she was in the sarcophagus, all of a sudden she just didn't have her gun anymore. And I'm not opposed to like some little knife fight with that one dude, but I'm like, didn't you just have a gun like 2 seconds ago? What happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden she may have run out of ammo. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of guns.
Well, no, but didn't she go? Oh yeah, like didn't she go right back out after that? She picked up out of the stand when Mark was getting his Ace Ventura moment. He's getting like a fucking spear in both of his knees. And she went out there and shot more of them. I was like, yeah, that gun. Why did you? Huh? I'm gonna go back and watch it again. But I was like, did you just all of a sudden forget you had a gun and then you want to get in a knife fight and then go back out there and shoot like 4 more of them? Like, what? All right.
I'm not sure. Maybe I just missed what you were talking about, but I mean, it's kind of a trope of action movies for that kind of thing to happen.
I don't know, because like I said, I was like, I just saw her have a gun. She ran into that sarcophagus, and the bodyguard or who that guy was, just came in there, and I'm like, and she just stand there and she pulls. I'm like, why aren't you just shoot him? What the fuck? I was seriously confused. That whole fight scene, I'm like, this is cool, but where's that gun you just had? I don't know. Otherwise, no, it was pretty solid.
Yeah,
that cool little visual of like the mask like just materializing around his face again and the hood coming back down. Like that was kind of cool, like some Iron Man type.
It was kind of Iron Man-y. I was like, I didn't even know that suit could do that.
Right.
But
pretty awesome.
Yeah, this look. Think about it. We're already halfway through this season.
Yeah.
And this thing has not slowed down. TSS in the chat says he thinks Moon Knight has had the best start to a Marvel Disney Plus series. Yeah, pretty close. I can't really disagree with that. These 3 episodes have been getting better and better. Ethan Hawke is fantastic as Arthur. I agree. Ethan Hawke is tremendous as Harrow. But yeah, there was so much going into this. I really love they're doing with Moon Knight what I've always thought they should have done with Thor. They're really using the mythology to build the world. Whereas it seemed like they tried to do that in Thor 1. They kind of tried to use a little bit of it in Thor 2, and in Thor Ragnarok, they just completely abandoned it and went with a straight-up comedy. And I was kind of like, with the exception of like 2 or 3 parts, they really just abandoned the entire mythology of the Norse god and just decided to try to make this movie as funny as possible, which I thought was kind of disappointing. But yeah, they're really getting deep into like what this stuff's all about and like ancient Egyptian history and shit like that and building this character, which I think is fantastic. I think it makes the character that much more interesting. The other thing about this is that a lot of stuff from the upcoming 4th episode has already been leaked online. I don't know if you heard anything about this, Jeremy. Apparently, something in this next episode is going to happen. I've already read it, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody right now. You guys can go look it up online if you really want to. But apparently, something happens in the 4th episode coming up next Wednesday that is going to really, really alter the direction of a lot of things in this series. Like who Mark is, things like that. Who Arthur really is, who Arthur Harrow really is, or maybe I don't know how it's going to play out past the 4th episode, but things like that. So this next episode is supposed to really flip a lot of things on its ass, and kind of up the chaos factor as we lead into the last 2 episodes. So
maybe that little seed that was kind of planted there when Arthur was like, oh yeah, well, you know what? Your husband's not being completely truthful. We're not really telling you who he is. And she was like, what's that mean? He's like, nothing. He's just trying to get in your head. I'm like, while you're right, I'm like, I feel like, again, I've seen enough movies. I'm like, no, there's something there. Something is, he's probably just like trying to put it to the wayside because it's like, well, look, we're focused on this thing we're trying to do right now. But I'm like, nah, there's something you're probably holding out on, dude. So maybe that's what it was. Like maybe that story comes to a head.
Yeah.
Because we really still don't know. It's like that's the thing. Is like a lot of this is still kind of. I mean, I hate to use this pun, but we're kind of literally left in the dark. We don't really know truly that much about like who these people are, or what their history is, or what
Well, that I think is one of the things that's supposed to be happening in this 4th episode is that a lot of that's going to kind of be exposed.
Well,
so
I'm fine with that though.
We're going to find out here pretty quickly, I think. But again, if some of these things that have been spoiled for episode 4 online are true, it's going to greatly alter. The way they put it, it said it changes everything. Or it alters everything or something like that. But it has a very, very big impact on where this show goes over the course of the last 2 episodes. But I love this last episode. I thought the fight scenes were fantastic. I love that we actually got to see like this awesome power of Khonshu being able to like rewind the stars in the sky back to what it looked like 2,000 years ago, or however many years ago it was. I thought that was crazy. I feel like that's the kind of thing, though, that one of the Avengers would have seen and been like, maybe we should investigate this a little bit, because it's not like it only happened. It's not like it only happened where they could see it. Like the entire world was seeing it, because you see Arthur seeing it and reacting to it because he knows that Khonshu is doing it. He sees like people just driving down the road that notice the stars all rewinding and like the Earth is spinning super fast all of a sudden. So I feel like that's the kind of thing that would garner the attention of some people like, S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Avengers or somebody.
Hey, you don't think Nick Fury's up there in space? Like, okay, something's not right.
Like
Hold on.
something just happened. I don't know what it is.
Motherfucker. Yeah,
even
you
Spider-Man,
gotta go back down there.
Even Spider-Man chilling out in his little shitty apartment in New York now because nobody knows who the hell he is. Kind of like, what the hell's going on outside? Maybe I should go swing around Manhattan and try to figure out what's going on. But
first, pay my rent.
Yeah, but first, rent.
Rent.
But yeah, it was a wild fourth episode. A whole lot of, again, we got some good dialogue with Mark Spector and with Harrow again, and I love when these guys just talk. It's like it's easy to put them in situations where they're throwing hands at each other, but I love that great dialogue that goes back and forth between the two of them. I love the way Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaacs, the way they act opposite one another. I think it's fantastic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this
I think it's hilarious. Like every time you see Ethan Hawke, I notice it every time I see Ethan Hawke walk. You hear the crunching of the glass, like in the underlying in there somewhere. You can just hear the glass still crunching in his shoes. I'm like, that's such a funny detail. It's still there.
Yeah, it's the craziest stuff.
It's kind of it's unnerving because I'm like, yeah, I know it's there, and I know he's just it's not okay.
Yeah, it's like I know that shit's digging into his metacarpals right now. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride for these first 3 episodes. The fourth one's supposed to be bonkers. It's supposed to be off the chain, and who knows what the rest of it's going to bring. I kind of wonder what Moon Knight's larger role in the MCU is going to be. I don't know if they're going to try to fold him into the movie somehow, or if they're going to leave him on Disney Plus. Because there is this. It's not Marvel Knights. What the hell is it? There is some like Avengers-like group that Moon Knight is a part of. I think it's called the Dark Avengers. Maybe it's the Dark Avengers I'm thinking.
Yeah, maybe we were setting up the Dark Avengers with what's her face with Elaine from fucking Seinfeld. You know what I'm talking about.
We also haven't had a post-credit scene that I've noticed yet. Because one of the things that's been happening.
No, I've been looking.
So far is I've been fast forwarding to see if it happens. Do you think this fourth episode is the one where we get the post-credit scene? I figure it would probably have to be. If it's going to be half as bonkers as I've read it's going to be, I feel like the first post-credit scene for this series is probably going to pop up in this episode. What do you think?
That'd be about midway, at least something to kind of give us something else to go off of, and then probably for sure one in the last episode, right? To give us something that, wherever we're going next. But if it wasn't going to be in this one, I would suspect maybe it'd be in the next one.
I don't know. Depending on how bonkers this next episode is, I think we're probably going to get the next episode. But maybe we won't get one at all. Maybe they're just not going to do one until like the very last episode, and they'll give us a little taste as to what might be coming for Moon Knight after this season is over. Because I've not heard any word about another season of Moon Knight, at least not yet. But I don't know if they plan on, like I said, I don't know if they plan on putting him in the larger MCU or giving him another season or what. So we'll have to see. But go down the comments slow. What?
Well, I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't this technically kind of time travel? And Frank was okay with it?
What time?
I'm thinking the TVA is going to... He turned back the stars, right? Didn't they?
I caught that too.
No, he didn't turn back. No, he didn't turn back time. He turned back the stars.
No, I know, but like he turned it back in time visually. I don't know. I'm stretching. Okay, I'm just
time travel.
I'm just saying. I'm like, if they do that in the TVA shows, I'm like, okay, dude, you just fucked with the stars. We can't be having you do that. And then
Well, before the TVA, he would have even had a time to react. The gods themselves put him in stone. So.
Well, did they leave the sky that way? I mean, you got to fix that, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to wrap my brain around it. It's called plausible deniability. It happened. I'm happy with it. It was a good result, and nobody had to go jump through the quantum time realm to go back to 1977 camp, whatever, to go get the Super Soldier Serum. So I'm good. I'm okay with that.
Fine, fair enough.
But Cora, do you have any thoughts? I don't know if you've even been watching Moon Knight, have you?
No, and let me tell you, reading that summary felt very weird knowing I hadn't seen any of it.
I think you should watch it. The first episode's only about, I think the first episode was only like 30 minutes long or something like that, or 35. It wasn't terribly long. The second and third episode, however, have all been like 50-something minutes. But they have been an action-packed 50-something minutes. I mean, they are really, really good to watch. I know when you just
like you get excited when he comes out.
Yeah, I know when you just read the synopsis, Cora, it sounds like you're reading some kind of like ancient history, like some shit from a ancient history
class. I didn't fuck up the names. I was like, I'm gonna rock this shit. I'm not gonna fuck up the names.
I know I've given you a lot of.
Episode...
It's good. It's good for my brain because of you and reading these. I'm probably gonna be less likely to have dementia.
Let's see. So you started off tonight having to read. What was it? He had. Let's see.
Comedian Gilbert Gottfried.
Recurrent ventricular tachycardia due to myotonic
dystrophy
type 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's great for my brain.
And I ended the show with her reading a brief introduction into ancient Egyptian history. So yeah, we're making smarter every day.
This episode had like a weird like Indiana Jones like Uncharted kind of feel to it. It was kind of fun.
Bringing it back to us, how was your drive? Was everything good? Are you all settled in?
Yeah, I've been laying here for the last probably like 20 minutes, but yeah, we're good. I think we've exploded out everything into this fucking room, so we're good.
Welcome to traveling with a woman. Usually, maybe Rachel's better than I am, but man, I unpack and I put stuff everywhere when I get into a hotel room. I make it a mini apartment.
She actually asked me that. She's like, do you unpack everything or do you just live out of your bag? I'm like, I live out of my bag. She's like, good. I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, fine, take all of I don't care.
I never understood why people who are at a place for like 2 or 3 days bother putting all their stuff in like the dressers that are there in the hotel room. I'm like, why? Why bother?
I hang my clothes, Frank.
I'm like, I would hang something up, yeah, but I'm not gonna. I don't know. I was in Scouts for so many years. I'm like, maybe that's what's just ingrained into my head. That I'm like, okay, I have a bag to live out of. That's what I'm gonna, I'm not gonna take everything out. I just take what I need. I don't know.
Yeah, but that wraps up kind of our talk on the third episode of Moon Knight. Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you've read any of the spoilers, because there's some pretty bonkers shit that I've read about so far that has managed to make its way on the internet. Actually, what ended up happening is they released. I think they ended up accidentally releasing the plot lines for the first 4 episodes when they released the first one. And that that somebody had actually gotten a hold of episode 4 and released it online on a website. And even though it was only up for a couple of hours, like a lot of people picked apart what was in it and stuff like that. It was spreading around the internet. So it was kind of a accidental leak, but nonetheless, I mean, we're going to be able to watch these things as they come out episode by episode and enjoy them all the same, I think. But if those spoilers are correct, I think next week is going to be kind of a really off the chain kind of episode that's going to leave us maybe even a little bit confused. Also, I've heard that next week's episode is supposed to end with a cliffhanger. So,
of course,
who knows how that all
Boba Fett show up and explain why his book wasn't about him?
No, it won't be Boba Fett, because remember, we don't do Boba Fett things in Boba Fett. We do Mandalorian things in Boba Fett. So it's going to be the Mandalorian that shows up doing it on behalf of Boba Fett, because Boba Fett can't even carry his own damn show. And that's when Dominic Toretto walks in. He's like, family.
In his superhuman form.
Since it's actually in that time period where this could be plausible, you know what we're going to get with Obi-Wan? We're going to get 2 episodes of Obi-Wan and like 5 episodes of Boba Fett, because that's how that should work out. And then all of a sudden Obi-Wan's going to come in the last episode on the high ground or some shit.
Probably.
I'm going to cheer because I'm like, yeah, the high ground. But, I think you got your shows mixed up there, Disney.
They are. They are. They just need to let us write this shit. We'll have more fun with it.
I don't know.
Yes.
But that seems like a good place to wrap everything up, so we can get Cora back to work, Jeremy a little bit of rest after his long drive to a comic convention, and me on to whatever the hell I'm going to do for the rest of the night. Actually,
ordering your computer.
No, I'm done with the computer tonight. I'm turning this bitch off. I'm walking away. I'm so done with it tonight. I'm actually going to start preparing for the Easter festivities. They're going to be here on Sunday. I'll probably start doing that tonight.
How many people are coming to your house?
My Jennifer's brother, his wife, and kid are going to be coming in from Houston. They get here tomorrow. My kids are
exciting
going to be
family
here.
visit.
My kids are going to be here at some point Sunday. Her best friend Heather and her husband and their kids are going to be here. I would imagine my parents and probably my brother and sister are going to stop by at some point.
I'm food shopping tomorrow for the big thing. I'm making rolls from scratch, and I'm not doing a ham. I'm going to do a beef roast because I'm going to be different.
We just bought in a bunch of food, a bunch of sandwich stuff. I didn't feel like going through all the cooking stuff. I'll save that for 4th of July. 4th of July, I've already got plans. Jeremy.
I will be there.
You better be here. You and Richard, bring your appetites. I've already told Jennifer I'm probably going to throw maybe either a brisket or some ribs in the smoker. Ooh.
Yeah, I might even fly in from Oregon for that.
I'm going to start, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
I already told Jennifer it's going to be a thing.
I'm gonna
smoke something. There's going to be some smoked meats. I'm going to start smoking them like the day before. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be back for that.
I'm going to send you a video. Have you heard of Sam, the cooking guy on YouTube? He did a video of 8 ways to cook beef. And he does a unique brisket recipe that's fucking phenomenal.
Nice.
Send it to you.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely putting something on the smoker. I'll probably cook some hot dogs and burgers for the kids. All the good smoked meats are going to be for the grown-ups.
Yeah, my grandma had a trick.
Appreciate it.
She gave pork chops to all my uncles and my mother, and she cooked lamb chops for her and my grandpa. She said that she lied to them and said that lamb chops were worse and they got the better meat. And it wasn't 2 years later they figured out the actual truth of that.
Silly people.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming to hang out with us tonight. Before we go, I do want to talk about my wonderful co-hosts, where they're going to be. Lady Cora, where can the folks on the internet find you?
Absolutely nowhere except here on Thursdays.
This is the only place you need to be on Thursdays.
Exactly.
Where else you need to be, except for maybe Alex the Garbage Man. You can go check them out too. But check them out after you listen to us. But make sure you like both our streams because we're all kind of cool. And my hetero life mate, Jeremy, what have you got going on? Where are you at right now? Tell everybody.
Physically, where are you? Tell us what you're doing this weekend.
Okay. After that, build up. Yeah, so I am also here on Thursdays, talking all that talk. Then I almost sung that. Sometimes on Mondays, we got big releases of new movies. Tuesdays, whenever it apparently wants to cooperate, be on my Twitch channel, trying to play Lego Star Wars, but again, that's only if everything cooperates. So we'll see next week on that. And I mean, as it has been well mentioned a couple times, we're about to go to Comic-Con for this weekend. I'm sure I'll be posting some pictures and whatnots here and there. I'm sure she will as well. The only, I guess this counts as entertainment news. I think it was yesterday. It was really disheartening to hear. Like at the last second, the one person I was the most excited for had to back out, and it was Tara Strong. As most people know, she was, well, who hasn't she voiced, honestly? But, she was, I don't remember which damn My Little Pony she was. She's Harley Quinn, most notably. She's Timmy Turner. She's Bubbles and Powerpuff Girls and a whole slew of other things. What had happened to someone close to her, I think if it was a family member or somebody, had COVID. Like, she's vaccinated. She doesn't have it, but she's like, well, I'm not going to risk it. So, unfortunately, she had to cancel. But this might tickle everyone's fancy. I actually found out they're doing not just photos for each people, but they're doing group photos. So, like, there's like multiple people from Star Trek going. There's multiple people from, like, MASH, from Sailor Moon. They're doing group photos, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get a fucking picture with the people from MASH. I kind of have to. So,
I would.
That'll be cool.
Who from MASH is going to be there?
The one, I think the one I like the most is Klinger is going to be there.
Jamie Farr. Nice.
Oh yes, and Margaret Houlihan's going to be there. Hot Lips.
Really?
Yeah, the Loretta Swit, the one who didn't pass away. Yeah. Because everyone was like, "Oh, did she pass away?" Because you scared me when you said, Houlihan passed away. I was like, "Oh no! I was about to go meet her at the con." I'm like, "Oh, the original." Okay, that scared me. Jesus. And the third one is the guy who played the cook. I don't remember.
Oh, on MASH?
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
know
his
the
damn
guy's
name.
name. I was actually reading about him not too long ago. He actually released like a cookbook and did a bunch of shit, kind of like,
Oh, that's cool.
playing off his thing because he's one of the more famous like secondary characters from the show. But he actually went and released like a
Yeah.
managed cookbook and did a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, he's actually been a writer. He's
Oh, that's
written a few
awesome.
books and stuff. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's the three of them. So I was like, you know what? I was gonna splurge on Tara Strong, but hey, you know what? I'm definitely getting a picture with all three of them. That's really cool. The other one I'm doing is also well, I guess it's Marvel. He was Red Skull. Ross Marquand, who, as we all also know, is Aaron from The Walking Dead. Is going to be there, so that's a cool one. And I'm getting my copy of Mario 64 signed by Mario himself.
Nice.
So that's pretty dope. Oh yeah.
Mario.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that. So, plenty of fun stuff this weekend. I mean, I'm sure we'll take pictures of our cosplays. I'm bringing back President Loki. You're all welcome. And I have little stickers. That say Loki for president. I'm going to pass them out to people at the con. It's going to be hilarious.
Love it. Should be passing out Frank for 2024.
Yes.
Now that I've got,
I'll have to figure out a running mate. Maybe I should go get somebody who has zero substance, like Dominic Toretto. So Gilbert Toretto, 2024.
There we go.
It's like I can do all the important thinking, and he can go fly Fieros in space and defeat the bad guys.
Hell yes. That's your space program, huh?
Damn right. He's gonna run space for me.
God damn it.
Anyway, so yeah, go check out Jeremy. He is Grim Tuesday 23 across all platforms. As for me, you can find me here every Thursday talking about all the craziness going on in the world of entertainment. You can find me on the Derailed News and Podcast every Sunday at 9 o'clock talking about all the other craziness going on in the world and the current events. And other than that, every now and again I game, but for the most part I don't because I kind of suck at it. I'm not that good. So I leave it all up to the gamers like Jeremy who are better at it than I am. And Casey and Rudd.
I suck too.
Well, yeah, but you're better than me. Although I have to admit, no build mode on Fortnite, I have been wrecking that game for 3 days.
Right?
See what happens when you guys don't get to build some gigantic fortress in like 5 clicks? When you actually people who actually know how to shoot at people are going to kill you. That's what happens.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know how to actually, strategize and actually get in a gunfight with you. That's why I can play PUBG and just stomp people all day, getting wins because I don't have to. Like, all right, they're in this building. Go over here, flank them on this side. I'm gonna, go over here at this window. Boom, they're dead. Easy.
Damn right. But you can find me on here, on Derailed, doing whatever. And then, of course, there are some Mondays, as Jeremy said, where we do specific reviews for big movies. I think the next one we have coming up, let's see, we just did Morbius, so I think the next one we have coming up is, I probably won't do one for Fantastic Beasts, but most definitely May 9th is the big Doctor Strange review. I'm probably going to have a new collaboration for that as well. I got to reach out to somebody and make sure they're going to be available. But that's going to be a big review, I think. So that one's probably going to be a lot of people. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Make sure you get a chance to go check it out. I already have my tickets for Saturday. Jennifer and I are going to be going to see it Saturday afternoon, and I'm really excited for what that's going to bring out. But thank you all very much for coming and hanging out. Thank you all very much for joining us after we had an hour's worth of technical difficulties that made me want to put a bullet hole through my computer. And thanks for just being awesome and cool.